Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the show. How you doing? Woo, man, it is cold. It is cold. How are you guys faring out there? Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the show. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Good evening. Welcome in to you one and all. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's get us started with a Talking Trek temperature sound off. I'll go first. It is 8, and it feels like -6. You guys go next. What's going on, Enterprise? So jelly, 55. Just talked to Griffin on the phone just a second ago. He's going to miss tonight. He's not going to be with us tonight, but he is. It is 59 where he is right now. Brr. I don't like it. OmegaJz says 8 degrees and 18 inches of snow. Tiny Mama, 19 degrees. Ben to the Robot at 11. 43 in Denver. Risha at 43 Celsius. I would trade. Mazed Up says we got 28 inches of snow. Angry Lou, 18 degrees outside. Scud Missile, 10, feels like -8. Ostas at 22. Shelby at 7, feels like -1. Tarpy, 13, feels like -4. Guffa, 3, feels like -24. What is happening? Sasquatch says 5 degrees Fahrenheit, feels like -7. Lost Keymaster at 54. Turmoil at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. JYT at 46 Celsius in Australia. Hypodermics 18, feeling like 4. 25 degrees Fahrenheit in Atlanta. Oh my gosh. Guys, it is cold. Appreciate you guys all being here. Good evening. Welcome into the show. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek. What's up? Woo. My goodness gracious. It is absolutely freezing here. As far as weather, I didn't get as much snow as we were expecting. I think I told you guys that we had been downgraded. So we are only at roughly 6 inches. 6 inches of snow. The problem is underneath that, we've got like 2 inches of ice underneath that. So it is rough going out there. Let me say hello to Dr. Big over on YouTube. What's up, Dr. Big? Holy smokes. Dr. Big just dropped a 20 bomb of gift subs over on the YouTube channel. Thank you so very much. These are complimentary gift subs, free memberships. Thank you so much, Dr. Big. Appreciate that a whole lot. Wristbreaker says 19 feels like 4. Goodness gracious me, oh my. Wilson says, I'm really disappointed. No one said 6'7" from what I saw. No, it's not 67 anywhere, okay? It's not 67 anywhere. Good evening to you, everybody. Appreciate you. Griffin sends his love. He's actually working this evening. Everywhere It Matters in Tarpa 2 joining us on the stage. Good evening, ladies and gents. How are you? Appreciate you guys being here. What's going on, Matters? Hello. How cold is it for you right now? It's got to be frigid.
No, it's not that cold. It's I don't know what the Fahrenheit version of this is. -8.
Oh yeah, not that cold. It's not that cold. Jonathan Ingram,
No,
thank you.
-8 Celsius.
-8 Celsius.
Yeah. -8 Celsius.
Somebody do the conversion on that for me. -8 Celsius means that it's probably
just above 0.
17.
Just above 0?
17,
Just
18.
above 0.
Okay, 0 degrees. It's 0 Fahrenheit. Brr. Appreciate you guys. Hey, Jonathan Ingram, thanks for the 27-month
17,
resub.
whatever.
17. It's
17,
okay.
18 Fahrenheit.
So wait, it's warmer in Canada than it is in my mountain right now. That's ridiculous. Jonathan Ingram, thanks for the
Depending on
27
the
month.
weather we had yesterday.
Oh, thank you for the
You're up
27-month
in the
resub. J-Babes, 33 months at
nice.
tier 3. Thank you so much. Ben Sai, thank you for the 15-month resub. Appreciate that. Balabom asking me to change my name to Ultimate Raid Target. I will do that only because Jonathan Ingram finally, see, months and months of me supporting other creators and doing all this good work, and finally he puts out a new piece of content. How much, Jonathan Ingram? How much? I missed you too, boo. How much was it? We're going to go with, I'm going to say, based on what I know, and that's only what I know, I'm going to say it's probably around 100 to 120 trillion. Between 100 and 120 trillion. Yeah, you almost got to Sigma. I was down to like my last 6 or 7 trillion resources. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. I know how it happened. I just forgot to put up a shield after I went up and was working on my veil. I say working on my veil because an alliance, as a result of my shenanigans the other day, has in fact declared war on myself and my team. So I have a fresh set of donuts, freshly baked. All right, same gooey frosting, even got some rainbow sprinkles on top there. That I've been having to go. Listen, I tried to have a conversation. I apologized. I posted messages. I posted notices. I sent DMs. Just not have. Yeah, I know. It was for the kids. It was for the kids. What's up, Major Samo? Good evening to you. It was supposed to be for the kids. Okay. And it was a sad conversation to have. As a matter of fact, well, no, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it because we leave politics out of this podcast. I'll tell you though, I was not enthused by our conversation. So now we're at war. War for the kids. It's war for the kids. War. So I've been enjoying. Voltron says you didn't hit my ship in the Veil. Well, I probably just didn't get around to it. Okay. Yeah, now we've got a thing going on up in the Veil. So that's what happened. And then Jonathan Ingram took advantage of my charity giving spirit and raided me down to almost my Sigma. Almost. There was only a couple of trillion left. All right. Nuge says, hey, DJ, just watched your Veil clearing from a few days ago. That was awesome. Yeah, well, not everybody thought so. All right. Daystro says the first annual Veil Wars. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure other people have been fighting wars in the Veil. Let's see. YouTube raid DJs. I haven't yet. So here is what was funny about this. Okay. Here was what was actually most amazing about this is that everybody in Jonathan Ingram's alliance who was raiding me changed their name to some variation of it was for the kids. Yeah, they I thought this is unfortunate. I thought I had saved a screenshot of this somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, I've got it. Here, let me put this up on your screen. I'll throw it into the graphics room for you. Shout out Jonathan Ingram. I kill you for the kids. Jules for the kids. I am one of those kids. Shout out to the Athenians who absolutely just did an absolute number on my Parsteel reserves, which is unfortunate, extremely unfortunate, because I'm probably gonna need some of that Parsteel this coming month. Tarpy.
Why?
What?
Is it all those outpost buffs you're planning on doing?
Huh? What? Yeah.
All those outpost buffs, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. That's exactly what it is. Anywho, appreciate you guys. You have so many tokens. I do have tokens. I do have a lot of tokens. Why would I need normal Parsteel?
I think I foobot this.
Absolutely crazy. Thank you for the name change. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. That was Balabom who redeemed that one. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Blue Meanie, thank you for spending your toy mice. I have to hydrate. I'm sorry. Samo says ops up before I finally surpass you. Listen, I'm broke now. All right, I have no Parsteel left. I can't even convert anything. I have enough to do exactly one gun. And I am well behind. Look, all my guns are only at 70. I've got to get all the guns to 71 before I can even think
don't
about
open it, then later I can claim ignorance, right?
going to Op 72. So, yes, what have I been doing, Tarpy? I have been mining par steel. That's what I've been doing. Absolutely. I've been mining par steel. Very quickly, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. You guys want to take a quick gander and take a quick listen, for those of you in podcast, at Jonathan Ingram's new video. It's been many, many months. It's been 4 months since he has released a video.
Woke up this morning.
Oh, my God.
Phases set to stun. My base is in ruins.
Oh, yeah.
All my work undone.
If you guys are able to see,
Spaceships are burning.
you guys are able to see Jonathan Ingram.
Stars don't shine as bright.
Jonathan Ingram is scooping me for 800 billion per scoop.
In the dead of night.
800 billion per scoop.
Walks me to nowhere.
I lost about 120 trillion.
In the galaxy. What went wrong? Scotty can't fix this. I'm losing control. My base is in pieces. Taking its toll. England raided my base. Took all my pastille. Walked into my space. Gave a wound I can't heal. Bananas calling. My defense is overrun. Ingram's raiding has only just begun.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. My saving grace is it was
Ingram's raiding
not during incursions.
has only just begun.
Oh, yeah. He raided me so long. He raided me so long that he had time to send his Dauntless out multiple times. He sent his Dauntless out multiple times. So there is that. Thank you. Appreciate that for the Athenians on server 15. You guys never cease to amaze me with your ability to find my base and steal all my par steel. Guffa says, for someone who doesn't play, what happened? So do you remember, Guffa? Have you ever played? I appreciate you being here. I thought you had played at one point, but there's a mechanic in the game where people can steal resources off of other players. And it used to be that, you know, we could raid millions per scoop, and then it went up to billions per scoop, and now Jonathan Ingram has found a way to raid me for trillions at a time. Yeah, it's 120 trillion is what he got off of me. Congratulations to you guys. Yeah, 120 trillion. Oof. Which is unfortunate because I've been using that to convert over it into Sigma. And, you know, you never know, chat. You just never know when you're going to have need for more traditional par steel in the future, you know? I mean, even Jonathan Ingram is probably going to have a use for a lot of this par steel in the near
I think I
future.
foo-bought this.
Anyway, yeah, brutal. Absolutely brutal. It was for the kids. It was all for the kids. There you go. So good evening, everybody. Appreciate that. Wait, what? Shelby said, is that a leak? Samo says, leaks? I said nothing. I just said I wish I had par steel. And you never know. Hey, listen, that doesn't need to be a leak. That doesn't need to be a leak. Take a look inside your base, people. Take a look inside your base. With the most recent patch, you got what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new pads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new pads. There's 8 new pads. Obviously, they've got plans. Obviously, there's some plans in the works for possibly new buildings that are coming. So, I mean,
Is it going to be more par steel generators? I hope so.
I sure hope so. I'm not grasping at straws here. I can't think. I can't imagine. There's 8 blank pads in our base now that were just added in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, logic would dictate, Jim, that there will be new buildings in our future. Just saying. Silvertab says...
Was that a question or no?
Nah. Silvertab says, I have 1.4 quadrillion as an Ops 58. I feel like I should be okay. Maybe. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's going to cost a lot of par steel. Maybe. Anyway, will we find out soon? Maybe not. Don't know. I was just suppositioning, guys, because that's a word, right? Suppositioning, a word. I feel like it is. So, yeah, just protect that par steel, guys. Protect that par steel. Appreciate everybody being in here tonight. A couple of thank yous very quickly. Ripley Gatto, thank you for the 45 months. A day one subber right here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Voltron with the 3-stream streak. Good evening. Can Scotty pull the chips and sabotage the Excelsior? We're going to talk about the Excelsior a little bit tonight and whether or not it has lived up to the expectations that we had after the specialty ship run of 2025. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the officers tonight. We'll talk about the challenge track and then take a look at the officers and so forth. As a matter of fact, excuse me, Tarpy has even been planning to put together a survey for us so that we can collect our data and be able to refer back to it over several months. We don't always have access to the data that we want to see. I don't. Is it ready to go tonight? It may not be ready to go tonight, and that's okay. Because
it was.
Oh.
I sent it to you yesterday.
Yeah.
So
here's the deal. Yesterday, I genuinely
you didn't check your email.
Hang on. Everything yesterday I thought was going to be just fine. Right? Yesterday Saturday we were supposed to get all the snow. Right? Saturday, we were supposed to get the snow. Didn't get it. I'm thinking, oh, hey, it's fine. We're going to be good. Then Sunday, Major Samo had her big, huge party, so we didn't do a show yesterday. We pushed off to today. And I'm thinking to myself, Tarpy, it's fine. I'll have plenty of time. I'll have plenty of time in the office to go over everything and prepare everything because we weren't supposed to get anything else. All right? It was all supposed to come Saturday night into Sunday. We didn't get it. So I'm thinking, everything will be fine. I'll go to work on Monday. I'll get my work done. I'll have some time to do some thingies and all the such. I wake up this morning and it's so blustery outside that I can't even see my vehicle in the driveway. Okay. And when I say that, I mean, it was just dumping snow, just absolutely pouring the snow. Pouring the snow. There was ice everywhere. I went out to my truck. I actually got up. I got dressed. I went out to my truck, couldn't open the doors. I look, there's probably, I'm not kidding you when I say maybe just under an inch of solid ice, like just a sheet of ice on the truck. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to wait around out here. So I started the truck with my remote start, went back inside. Came back outside 20, 25 minutes later, and I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting, to be honest with you. Yes, the glass had defrosted, but the ice on the doors hadn't changed at all. I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting there. Maybe for some of you guys out there that you guys have, car warmers that like warm your door panels and your paint and everything. I wasn't thinking that one through because the windshield was fine. Moopsie. The windshield was fine, but I still had an inch of ice on the door panels and could not get the door open. And so I came back inside. I called up Mrs. Boss and I said, yo, I don't think I'm going to make it. Oh, by the way, totally busted my tail out in the driveway. All right. And I slipped. This was a comical moment. How many of you guys seen the movie Home Alone? How many of you guys seen Home Alone and Marv is down in the basement and he's slipping and sliding all over the bottom of those basement stairs because there's ice everywhere, right? Yeah. How many people haven't seen Home Alone? It's a great movie. And so that was me. I was Marv. Okay, I was Marv all over my driveway for probably a good solid 6 to 10 feet of stretch. I was somehow able to stay on my feet for a majority of that before I finally came crashing down. And then I came in the house, took 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, sat on the couch, and called Mrs. Boss and said, I'm not going to make it. Not going to make it because there was so much ice on my driveway. It was just a solid sheet of ice. So then, like an idiot, I decided to go back outside, and I came over here to the studio where I intelligently turned on the heat. Okay? That was a smart move on my part, because at that point, Tarpy, I said, well, if I'm not going to work today, then I might as well go outside and work. I might as well, come to the studio. We could have done an EU stream earlier today. And so I was thinking I'll stream throughout the day, EU friendly and all the things. Coming back into the house, I marv it up again, although this time it was just like a slip and fall. It wasn't like I didn't like scoot for 10 feet. I just fell again on the same bad hip. So I came inside and just sat on the couch and did not feel like moving for a while after that. So I turned on the Roku channel. Now, I feel like this is weird because I have YouTube TV, right? I have YouTube TV and I've got all the channels and I've got the movie things and I've got the Disney Plus and all this stuff. And hip, hooray. Oh, I'm hurting today, buddy. I'm hurting. All right. So I decide I'm sitting on the couch and I'm hurting. I don't even want to move. And so I turn on the television and there's an advertisement for Knight Rider, the original 1980s Knight Rider on the Roku channel. Well, naturally, I turned that on because who wouldn't? Right? Chat. Who wouldn't watch the Hoff in his prime? Okay, so I watched 2 or 3 episodes of that's a lie. I watched 6 episodes of Knight Rider today, and never really did anything except until I got hungry, and I decided to make more pasta. And Tarpy, I blame you for this. I am never going to lose weight by eating this much pasta. Okay, this is your fault. This is your fault, but I made more pasta today. Silvertab says, hey, me too. Yeah, I saw your pictures. That looked great. I did the exact same thing. I still had some of Grandma's spaghetti. But the kids ate all the meatballs. What? The kids, I had 3 containers of spaghetti sauce in the fridge. So I'm like, oh, I'll just make some pasta and reheat some sauce and make a plate of spaghetti. I open up the sauce. No meatballs. None. No meatballs. So I have to make more meatballs. And then I made more pasta. And then I threw some chicken in the crock pot because I was stuck in the house. What do you guys do when you're bored at home and it's snowing? And I didn't even have my gaming PC. I didn't even have my gaming PC because it's out here. So I couldn't do anything.
That's messed up.
It is messed up, Ultravetica. Children are like locusts, says Tavi Moza. They stole all my meatballs. Dragon Keeper says sleep. I did take a nap. JB says drink a little bourbon. I didn't do that today. All right. Noah has warned me about drinking at home alone. Noah says, Dad, I don't want you drinking at home alone. That's a fair ask, right? I guess that's a fair ask. Noah tells me I'm not allowed to drink at home alone. So I didn't. So I cooked for a few hours, took a nap, ate some pasta, watched some more Knight Rider, and then tried to weasel out of doing tonight's show because it's cold. And Tarpy wouldn't let me, so here we are. Okay? There we go. Shelby says, I'll be right over. We can drink together. Listen, at this point, I would love it. Nobody's getting up this mountain. I got to be honest with you. I don't even think... Okay, so the overnight temperature here. All right, and we're going to get to the game, I promise. I'm doing fluff. Right now, it's 9, feels like -4. The actual temperature tonight is dropping to 4 degrees. It will be 4 degrees at about 3 a.m., where it will feel -27 because I have wind gusts up here on the mountain of 40 miles an hour. Now,
that's a Tuesday for us.
Yeah, okay. Well, not for me. Okay.
Literally.
Shelby says me and my F-150 will get there. Dude, I'm driving an F-150. I feel like I could get down. I don't know that I'm getting back up. Okay. Will the truck start? Sure. The truck started today. I just don't think with all the ice on my mountain that I would get back up the hill. So I'm not chancing it. And I seriously doubt that I'm going to try to go tomorrow. We'll see. But the high tomorrow is only 16, so nothing's going to melt. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens over the next day or two. But Scud says, if you can't get up the mountain, how do you even get down? Well, I haven't been down since it snowed. So I came up here. I haven't left the mountain since Friday. So Benny Hill says, stream some more. There's a possibility that if I get a good night's sleep tonight, which also I didn't sleep well last night. I'm not entirely sure. Shannon, what are you doing, girl? Yeah. Hi, Shannon. Oy. Can we get a shout out for Oy? Can we get a shout out for Shannon, please? Shannon also needs some sound advice from my teenage son. Shannon, you should not drink at home alone either. Just throwing that out there for anybody who's curious. Yeah. But no, I did not sleep well last night either. So then I woke up this morning. I was tired, and like I said, I got up and I was trying to work, and I still had to do some work, and I had to change over the phone system for the dealership because no one else was able to get into work today either. A few people did, and a few people actually made it. So I had to change the phone system over, and just I had to do some stuff. All right. So anyway. Long story short, I'm in an incredible amount of pain, and I didn't go to work today, and I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow, so we'll see. All right, I don't know. But if we don't, I might try to stream a little earlier tomorrow, but like I said, I didn't even want to I was so comfy. I was so comfy on the couch with Hazel and some homemade pasta and David Hasselhoff. I mean, I was kind of a happy guy today. I ain't gonna lie. Aside from the tremendous pain shooting down the left side of my body, but other than that, I've had a great day. So I hope you guys are faring well. That's right, the Hoff, man. I spent the day with the 1987 version of the Hoff. So I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I hope that if you are in an affected area of the world with this crazy storm, that you guys are staying safe and warm and all of the like. All right. So appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We do have an interesting show. Tarpy's got some stuff planned. And really, the show title kind of says it, Tarpy. Basically, we want to kind of start reviewing the arc. Now, we're not going to spend a great deal of time on this tonight because Griffin is also missing. And our plan, Tarpy, what is our plan on rating the arc? Were we going to do that? I tell you what, I'm going to sit back for a second. I'm going to allow the executive producer to tell me what we're actually doing on tonight's show because I'm still not 1,000%, 100%.
I'm not clear either.
Fully aware.
Uh-huh.
I have a peace shield. I've got 5 hours left on my shield. All right, so here are the notes. Wrap up pod redo. That's what she wrote me.
So
okay.
that was what we agreed on yesterday because we were going to do it yesterday.
Right.
And so that's the redo.
Okay. Okay, so we're wrapping up the arc. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. By the way, can I real quick before we start, one of the weird things that happened today while I was watching on the Roku channel is that's not a part of any subscription. It's a free channel. So I got ads, okay? Not that I would pay for any premium. You guys know I don't pay for premium. I have ads on Paramount Plus as well. But I saw this ad that I sent to Tarpy and Matters earlier and Putz, and this ad was I laughed out loud. I belly laughed. Can I share this with you? Am I going to get in trouble for airing an actual ad? Probably not, right? Am I going to get copyright for sharing an ad? Surely not.
If you have to ask.
I belly laughed at this thing. Let me pull this up here for you guys. This was absolutely ridiculous.
The older I get, the harder it is to perform. Turns out, Daddy was just dehydrated. That's why I take Waterboy. Now my performance is better than ever. No cap.
No what?
Pay up.
What?
Other brands are whack, cheating you out of electrolytes, packed with unnecessary sugar. With Without any sugar, I don't get that mid-performance fall. Now I can match my wife. Freak.
Okay, now if you didn't actually get to see that, I'll put a link in the graphics room. But if you heard it and you're disturbed enough to not want to watch that, then don't click the link. But if you're into weird, strangely disturbing, scary things, then I've provided you with a piece of content today. Fun Daddy says, what did we just watch? Something I'm going to have nightmares about for at least the next 20 days. Zek says, how much did you buy? All of it. Yeah, all of it. I immediately went to the website and placed an order. Okay. It worked on me. All right. I don't know how many tens of cents that they spent on a Roku TV ad, but it paid off for them today. Okay. I don't know how many tens of cents that cost them, Tarpy. I mean, does anybody in our audience, does anybody do advertising executive, advertising sales for network, anything like that? What does a streaming ad on the Roku network actually cost? I can't imagine that cost more than like 3 pennies. Okay. 4 at the most. But I laughed. I belly laughed at that ad. And you know what else was really interesting? Paramount Plus was advertising all over the Roku network too. So who handles that? I need a background in advertising here now. Can somebody help me? Why would Roku be putting Paramount Plus ads on their network? It's got to be part of like some big network, right? Just a big media buyer kind of thing. Well, let me tell you. All right. Polar Bear says most medication ads are filled with that. No. See, the medication ads always show people doing wild and crazy, unrelated activities. Like, you've got eczema, let's go kayaking, right? You having stamina problems, let's go skydiving. Okay, cool. Things like that, right? Hey, you've got problems with your liver, let's bake a cake. All right, those ads always show weird. That's not as weird as what this was. Okay, that was Retrieving says that was an old people version of Liquid IV. Well, it worked on me. All right, it worked on me. I need to get my freak back. So that line really caught me, Tarpy. Do you want your freak back? I would like it. So I ordered.
Why does that not surprise me in the least?
Who doesn't want to get their freak back? Okay, I mean, right? Having one's freak is very important. Anywho, so then let's dive in. Wait, I really ordered? Yeah, why not? It looked great. I actually drink Liquid IV, and I don't like the taste of it. All right, and yeah, sure. I mean, I could go for a little more freak in my life. So yeah, I just placed a small $150 order. It's fine, not a big deal. Okay. Anywho, good evening. Appreciate you guys being here. Happy Monday to you. Doing a podcast today. Liquid IV makes me feel more dehydrated. See, it tastes that way, Carissa. It tastes salty. That's why I don't like it. So I wanted to try something different. And I definitely don't like Gatorade because it's got so much sugar. So I don't like it. And that's why I'm drinking water
You
tonight.
eat a pound of pasta and you're worried about Gatorade sugar?
Okay. You know what? Again, this is your fault.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You have, choice over what you do with
I
your
had
own body.
extra sauce.
Half a country away.
I had extra sauce. What am I going to do with the sauce if I don't have any noodles? And I wasn't going back to the box noodles. Okay. Wasn't doing that.
It's called gazpacho.
What is gazpacho?
DJ.
What?
What is wrong with you?
Nothing. I just made some pasta and I ordered some old people IV liquid stuff. It's fine. Daystra Salas, how is your dinner choices her fault? Because she's like a crack dealer. She introduced me to homemade pasta, and now I'm addicted.
You realize I'm a chemist, right? And I could literally be a crack dealer that I made.
I'm just saying, truth hurts, don't it? Okay. Truth hurts. Anywho. All right, let's get into it. Challenge track, everybody. Challenge track.
My goodness.
I have one more admission to make if you don't care. It is game related, though. It is game related. Can I share? I cheated today.
You cheated?
I cheated. If anybody was in Talking Trek Discord chat at around 12:05 p.m. Eastern time today, I went in and posted a quick message. I was like, hey, has Ahead of the Curve recycled yet? Somebody said yes. And I'm like, okay, good. I can actually boot up my game because I did all of my Sunday events and didn't claim any of them. So I got to start today with 600 points for the Ahead of the Curve. And for the record, this is only in a last-ditch attempt to actually try to finish it this month. All right, I have yet to finish Ahead of the Curve, class. I haven't finished it yet, not once. I got to take any edge I can.
You're such a cheater.
So I started with 600. I started with my Dauntless event, and I think there was a Fleet Commander event. And then what are you smacking me for, Vic? You can do it too. You can do it too.
DJ.
What?
What is wrong with you?
It's 600 points. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. All right. Strider says that's not cheating. It's min-maxing laziness. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. See,
Don't help him.
Carissa hasn't finished it either. I haven't finished it. Daystra says, I'm reporting you, you dirty exploiter. Hey, we don't use those words around here, okay? We don't use those words. The game let me do it. The game let me do it.
Don't open it, then later I can claim ignorance, right?
I was completely ignorant. I just didn't log in before event reset. I slept in and busted my hip. And then by the time I logged in, it was 1 o'clock. See? Not my fault. Not my fault. Challenge track, everybody. Okay. Last month, I made a claim. I made a claim that a new kinda version of a battle pass was coming. And I said it was going to be different. It wasn't going to be exactly like a battle pass, but it was going to be different. It was going to be structured a little differently. And that there was still a free track and that you could pay for extra. And I said I was intrigued. I said that I was interested by it and that it checked my boxes for free stuff along the way and a little extra for paid. Whether or not you thought it was worth it to be paid is up to you. I, for one, this month have not paid for the $20 token. There's two reasons for that. One, on week one, we didn't have to. Okay? On week one, we didn't have to because they did that little bit of a timer thing. Okay? Cool, fine. But there was also the day one gifts. There was a few extra little gifts thrown in there. As a matter of fact, everybody who did stay perfect on their events actually got the legendary milestone for free in week one, which is awesome, by the way. That's fantastic. I'm sure that was not intended, but kudos to everybody who figured it out and did the math and pulled it off. Magu said with the ship. Okay, sorry, with the ship. If you had the ship, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah, because the ship was what you needed for these two middle milestones, number 6 and number 7. So if you had the ship and you stayed perfect on your events, you didn't need to spend the $20 weekend one because you just got the legendary track. Then week 2 happened. The timers ended up being a little bit short because they fixed them, says I kill you. They fixed them at the end of week 2. And then somehow this past week, I missed events. I only finished up through milestone 6. So I must have missed a day or two somewhere. And I was disappointed by that. I was like, well, no $20 for me. Now, here's my first critique of the challenge track. If you want to make money off of it, you can't expect perfection. Okay? That's my first critique of this thing. There's got to be at least 1 day's grace. Okay? There's got to be 1 day's grace here because I might have actually bought, but I missed a day. Because listen, hey, 10,000 Sigma credits for $20 plus 20 legendary shards for an officer that I do want. It's cool. I do want this officer. We'll talk about that coming up. I would have spent $20 for that. But instead I missed a day. Even $20 wouldn't have gotten me there. So I didn't spend it. So there's critique number one. That being said, I do think, and I'm going to come around the panel. We're going to look in chat, okay? If you guys want to raise your hands, tonight is the community sound-off night. Tonight is the night that the Fleet Command team is going to be paying attention to our data and listening to clips and so forth and so on. I got to be honest with you. I'm not dissatisfied with the challenge track. Okay, I'm not. I like it as a new form of Battle Pass. I know that people have been complaining about Battle Pass overload. I still think that is a silly place to come from. We get free tracks in all of it. You don't have to pay for anything. I'll point out, I have not paid for Syndicate Pass. Okay, don't plan on it. I did not pay for Wave Defense Pass. Don't plan on it. Okay, I have not paid for Territory Capture Pass. Don't plan on it. Okay. And crazy enough, I don't even remember if I bought the Ferengi Pass. I think I did. But I can't remember. I think that I did. Didn't I buy it on stream with you guys? I'm pretty sure I did buy it on stream with you. I don't remember exactly, but I think I did. All right. But just because they're here doesn't mean we have to actually do it. So for me, looking at the challenge track is yet again just another battle pass. Royal Power says I gave up 3 days in. I have to ask why. All right, I have to ask why. Because maybe you couldn't do the silence. I totally get that. But the Gorn and the Hurok shouldn't have been that difficult. You still could have gotten some rewards. All right, maybe you missed silence, so you could have only gotten to milestone 4 instead of 5. Okay, possibly. Riskbreaker says some of my teammates can't do any of them. Yeek.
Why?
Maybe you can't do some of them. Okay. Maybe you can't do all of them. Okay. Maybe you can't do all of them. Oh, as far as the normal battle pass, yeah, I don't have to actually buy that one. Scopely sends me the normal Arc battle pass now. Okay. So I didn't have to buy that one, but I would have. I absolutely would have. $20. Listen, the best $20 you can ever spend in the game is not on these separate flash passes. It's the actual main battle pass. Okay? That's the best $20 you can spend any month, forever, never going to change. If you're going to spend $20 in this game, you buy the battle pass. Okay? That being said, I'm having reminiscent thoughts, Tarpy, if you will, of when Silence first came out. Like the original Silence. I'm having reminiscent thoughts of when the original Freebooters. Now, I have to just ask, do we remember, chat, when Freebooters were hard? Because, by the way, they were. I'm reminiscent. That was
a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I'm reminiscent of the time that Zindi Aquatics, yes, retrieving. Zindi Aquatics were near impossible for our level. And if you really want to go legacy, shout ho to my day one players. How many of you guys remember Separatist bosses? Okay. There have been targets that show up in the game that are damn near impossible when they first come out. Is DJ's having an old man moment? Yep. Sure am. Listen, I know, I got to be honest with you. Matters, let me ask the question. Today, in today's game environment, I don't think Separatist bosses would have been, quote unquote, tolerated by today's gaming community. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, absolutely. You're right.
I think today's gaming community, yeah,
and throw things.
Today's gaming community is a little different than it was 7 years ago.
Childish.
I'm not going to put a label on it, but it's a little different than it was 7 years ago. 7 years ago,
they are reminiscent of the adolescence of the day.
Hey, MJ. Yeah, J-Babe says they would not be tolerant of that now. But let me tell you something, man. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. And that's another thing Wrestle says. Remember at the time of Separatists, the officer selection was nothing. Dude, let me tell you something. We were triple and quadruple tapping those things. And you had to make sure that somebody else wasn't going to steal it. Right? So you and your alliance, this was a team activity. You and your alliance had to get together, form a circle around them, protect them at all costs, and work together to see who was actually going to kill it. MJ says stuff did used to be hard back when it came out. That's right. There were no boost juices. There was no Titan, no Ritos, no Exos, no nothing. And it was impossible, barring maybe a dozen or 24 players in the galaxy. It was impossible for a player to single tap and kill those things. So I am reminded of some of these mechanics throughout our 7 years that have resurfaced from time to time. And again, Zindi Aquatics being one, Silence 1.0 being one, Freebooters being one. Okay? Those were all things. Every single time we came out on this channel, and we always kind of said, much to the chagrin of some people, which was, hey, it's time to give your account a checkup from the neck up. If you can't do this, then there's a reason. There was a player who came to me the other day. I can't remember his ops. I believe he was either late G5 or early G6. And he had a tier 3 Excelsior. So he had to kill the 55s. Had to kill the 55s. Every single crew I gave him, he couldn't do it. A 55. Every single crew I gave him, he couldn't do it. Even Pike Moreau Chen didn't do it. And I'm thinking to myself.
With the Excelsior?
With the Excelsior. And I'm thinking to myself, now, again, I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. I was telling him. He says he was dying. I don't know why. But if that's the case, there is a serious delinquency in the account somewhere. Okay? It could have been
like
with...
mine.
Could have
Mine beats him with Mbenga.
Well, I am not having problems with them either, but this player literally
I'd say people
couldn't do
on
it.
this stage are not going to suffer through most content.
You right about that.
We are not the average players, and we are not the players that are going to have problems.
Yeah. And that's
just because it's easy for us
1,000% Tarpy.
Not indicative of the majority of the community.
1,000%. However, same coin, different. No, matters. That's elitist. But same coin, different side. Okay. It also does shine a light on accounts that may not be able to do the things that they should potentially be able to do. Okay. So that is a very important thing. And we've said this every time difficult hostiles come out. Every single time. Okay? And we come out here and we try to find the right crews and we try to find the meta and we try to take a look at what's important. We talk a lot, I remember when G7 came out, we talked all about Seska and Suitor and how they were key to G7. We talked about isolatic damage and shred and all this stuff. Okay? MJ says this content this month has been eye-opening for a group of players, those that have rushed their ops without catching up on research, artifacts, isolatic, et cetera, they will struggle. Yeah, I have seen that as well. My feedback to Scopely has been a little bit of a mixed bag, though. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, love the hostiles. I love that they're difficult. Most of the late stage players in this game, they are desperate for a challenge. Okay? I remember K9 Tooth saying, Scopely, literally, bring it on. that K9 says that they could not design something he couldn't kill. Okay? And they tried multiple times. We even named some of these weapons the K9 Killer and the K9 Cannon, the Go Home Cannon. We've seen these attempts at a challenge for late-stage players. And sometimes, most of the time, the players rose to the challenge. Okay? Now, Magoo says that's the problem. You can't make hard content for the K9s. If they do, 99% of the players will have problems. Is that a problem? Magoo, serious question. Is it a problem? Because power creep's a thing in this game. Bloat is a thing in this game. All right? And 3 months from now, 6 months from now, we're all going to be cruising through these hostels like a knife through butter, like we always do. Okay? Always, always. How many people have trouble with Separatist bosses today? How many people have trouble with Freebooters today? Or Original Silence today? Or Zindi Aquatics today? Anybody? Even players who are relatively new to that content just have to kind of put the time in because they can kill them. So, A, to the community, I'm going to throw it out, don't fret because you're going to be able to do it soon, eventually. The way Scopely introduces power creep into this game is unbelievable. All right, so it won't be long, I promise, if you can't, all right? That's right, MJ. Power creep makes the old stuff easy. Daggone right, okay? And it will continue to do that, all right? So you'll be fine here in a couple months, whatever. Here's the problem, okay? So here's the problem. Magoo says, do I say that to the guy that couldn't kill 55s with his Excelsior? I mean, there's something he's missing there, whether it's isolytic, whether it's artifacts, whether it's a chaos tech, a forbidden tech, something's missing there, right? However, and yes, it would have to be the advice. What else would you say, Magoo? What else would you say? Because there's a couple of certainties here. Let me just tell you what a couple of certainties are, okay? The hostels will not be adjusted in strength. That is certainty number one. And I don't mind to tell you that. As a matter of fact, I've had a number of conversations with them, both about this month's content and next. Okay? The strength of hostel will not be adjusted. Period. Now, here's where I'm going to be the bad guy. I didn't endorse for them to be changed. I think that the strength of hostile is fine. Where I think they have a problem, okay, is that they released a feature that goes with it that costs you unfortunate progression if you miss one day. This was the problem for me, was the introduction of the challenge track. But not that the challenge track is bad. Again, love the challenge track. It's just another form of battle pass. I'm glad that it's here. So wait, DJ, you're saying you love the challenge track, but you're also saying don't change the strength of hostile, leave them strong, leave it so that players are struggling. Well, what did you suggest? I actually suggested a scoring mechanic change. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's probably, well, I don't know. There's still time, I suppose. All right. But I suggested a little bit of a change. And here was why, MJ. I don't want the strength of hostile to be easy. Okay? I like the challenge. Let me tell you something. There were players this month, and whether you're in the camp of being able to kill them or not, okay, that's not what I'm asking, Okay? But quick question. How many people saw their friends in chat, AC, Veil Chat, Galaxy Chat, your own Discord, wherever? How many people saw people theorizing on crew this month? Anybody? I did. Voltron says no. Really? You weren't paying attention then. You weren't paying attention. Okay? Because, heck, we did, matters how many, 3 or 4 shows on crewing this month? More than we've probably done in the past year. Okay? Truth be told.
We talked about it in like almost every show that we did.
Almost everyone. We talked about it in Hawaii. We talked about it back home. We talked about it on Twitch. We talked about it in pod. We talked about it in the lab. All right? Just trying to figure it out. Now, Riskbreaker says, outside of your stream? Well, we're not going to have this conversation again. Okay? Not having this conversation again. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, man. The date is here. Okay? But there were a ton of people who were at least trying to figure it out. And by the way, I don't mean that they were the ones theory crafting. I mean, maybe they were just asking for a crew that might work. And maybe it did, and maybe it didn't. Certainly says, I never found a crew that worked for me. All right. Jimpy says, my crews worked. Let's see. There was somebody who just said up here, and I missed it, and I'm sorry I missed it because I wanted to read it. Somebody said, hey, DJs, I got my crew from this show, and it worked. And that was probably Matters. Okay? So Riskbreaker says there were other people that didn't want to figure it out. Just give me a crew. It didn't work. Give me another one. And that's fine. There are people out there like that. Here's the point that I'm drawing. It wasn't meta. Okay? It wasn't just another good old-fashioned Pike Moreau Chen kind of thing. It required somebody to engage. It required somebody to do some math. Somebody had to do some lab work. Somebody had to come up with a solution that worked. Our lab was busy. Jules Verne was busy. Blue Mandalorian was busy. Everywhere It Matters was busy. Magoo was busy. Everybody was busy coming up with solutions for the community.
I am so positive.
Now,
I'm full of positive energy.
some of those people probably had the month of their lives. Matters, you told me that you were expressly more interested in the crewing puzzle this month than you have been in the game in probably 6 months.
Yep, absolutely.
Let me tell you something, buddy. I can't wait for you to see the hostel next month.
That's fun.
Leaks.
You just cackled like you're Yoda, like when he gets all excited.
Enjoy next
that's not a
hostel, you
good
will.
sign.
Okay?
Yeah, that's for everyone in the community. That's not necessarily a good sign. That things are gonna be
Well, let's go back. All right. Tony says he's laughing at our potential suffering. You know what? You want to leak? I don't know. Have I leaked this yet? I can't tell if I have or not. I don't remember if I have or not. Next month? Yes, I did. I did leak this because I remember some people theorizing it about it in Twitch chat. Next month, it's going to get even harder. It's going to get even
That's what she said.
Next month, the challenge presented by the Fleet Command team will see increasing difficulty. Go ahead, Tarpy. Make something out of that.
No.
Okay.
The hostiles are taking the little blue pill exo.
It's going to get harder. Okay. It's going to get harder. Now,
Not a little blue pill.
it's going to get a lot harder. Now, I'm going to circle back to my feedback. Okay. We'll circle back to my feedback. Don't change the strength of hostile. We like the challenge. Some players may not. Okay? However, For those that don't, they still need an opportunity to participate in the challenge track. And this is my key note of feedback here. Okay? Because do I want people to get the most that they can out of the challenge track? Absolutely. Do I want you guys to be able to get rewards out of the challenge track? You betcha. Okay? Do I want somebody to feel like whoever it was in the chat, and again, sorry, I can't read the name. Chat's going very busy. I just realized chat's not showing on screen for some reason. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, yeah, it is. There it is. I don't want somebody to feel like they miss a day and then give up on the whole challenge track, which I saw. Somebody said it in chat. I gave up 3 days in. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for anybody. I want you to still be able to do it, but I want you to feel that challenge. It is called a challenge track. All right? I want you to be able to do it. I want you to be able to get in there and experiment and figure it out. And just in case you can't do it all 100%, I want there to be a fallback plan. Which is why the recommendation that I settled in on, and I don't think I can take credit for this entirely. There was a conversation that we had about it. But the conversation that we have, and you know what, I don't have my dailies up here, but somebody could pull up a daily, right? Let's take the silence, for example. Okay, let's take the silence, for example. You have to kill 10 of those at your level. And then you have to, if you have the Excelsior, you're going to do 5 more of those, but those don't matter. That's based on tier of the Excelsior. And then the silence was also Apex Barrier, which, by the way, we kind of figured it out. Okay, the Apex Barrier, most people got that figured out. The tough one was the silence, right? I was trying to kill 10 of them because some people could only do 1 or 2. Some people had to use Leslie to do 1. All right? So here was my thought. Retrieving, Riskbreaker, Cruzito, Shelby. I don't want to take anything from somebody. I want them to be able to complete in the challenge track if they engage, if they try, if they want to. So for the first time in a very long time, let's introduce a small little punch down mechanic. 10 hostiles, right? 10 hostiles. That's the milestone. Well, let's make it 100 points. Let's make your ops level 10 points. Let's make the ops level below you 4 points. 2 ops levels below you, 2 points. 3 ops levels below you, 1. At least now, somebody, if they wanted, and by the way, Shelby, I don't necessarily consider 100 hostiles a participation trophy. Somebody had to work hard to do that. You know? Now, Riskbreaker says, why call it a challenge track? Quit giving in. You know, I find it to be a compromise, Riskbreaker, because here's why. Okay? First of all, you're right. We don't have to make any changes. We don't have to make any changes. But that means that somebody out there, even if they bought the ship, may not be able to get to the epic milestones. It's not exactly what was intended. And what if somebody spent the $20, but they still didn't get the $20 rewards? Right? Yike, 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 yike. Now we're in trouble. Now, if you're talking about the philosophy of it, Riskbreaker, that it's called a challenge track, if you're talking about the philosophy of it, cool. I'm fine with that. Not everybody should be able to complete it all. Totally fine with that. But there's another side to this coin. And this is where sometimes you guys get mad at me. Scopely's trying to make money. I support their right to make money. So my advice is simply this. if you want to sell this, you can't make it punitive. Right? Like, if you want to sell the $20 token, then you have to make it possible to get to the point where the $20 token gives you rewards. Now, Wilson says it's too much of a money grab lately, getting ridiculous. Here's why I can't agree with it in this case. Because it's a battle pass. I've repeatedly said, put 100 battle passes in there. I don't care. Just because they put it on the shelf doesn't mean we have to buy it, guys. Okay? I remind you. Let's go back to my season passes. Just because it's available for sale doesn't mean we're buying it. There's territory capture. There's wave defense. There's syndicate pass. I didn't buy any of them. Okay? I don't mind. I've said this for 7 years. I don't mind them stocking the warehouse full of available things to buy. Okay? I don't care for them to put things available to sell. It's up to me to determine whether or not I want to buy it. I don't go into Walmart and feel like I have to buy all of aisle 21. Right? I see the options that are there, and I buy what I want. Okay? Riskbreaker says the $20 challenge token is crazy. Here's the deal. Monetarily speaking, it's worth it. Okay? Monetarily speaking, it's worth it. Do you want to do it every week? Do you want to do it once a month? Do you never want to do it? It's up to you. Here's the deal. I didn't even have a chance to buy it this month, even if I wanted to. Why? Because of perfection. The expectation of perfection cost them a sale. Okay? And that is where my advice to Billy from accounting is, yo, bro, if you actually want to monetize this, you're going to have to be a little bit more forgiving. Don't take away our puzzle. Don't take away the challenge. But you're going to have to be a little bit more forgiving with players who might be willing to give you $20, but literally can't because they can't kill the hostile. How many of you out there? I bet Ben Sai is one of them. Ben Sai has been dropping money on the game here lately. I'd be willing to bet that Ben Sai would have paid that $20 token if he had hit all the other milestones. True or false? How many of you others out there may have considered buying that $20 token at least one time this month if you had been able to clear all of the other milestones? Okay? Sure. Maybe. Somebody. Probably. Me. I'm one. Grouchy Outlaw says me. All right. Other people say no. JB says I did buy it. Danny says me. Okay. you said I might have done it last night. Okay. Shelby says I didn't clear the milestones this week. And henceforth lies my point. Shelby, the Uber whale who buys almost everything, didn't because he missed a day. Where does that make sense in Billy from accounting's head? Don't artificially limit your paying audience because we have real lives. Okay? That's a business failure 101 right there. Henceforth, if you want people to potentially be interested in buying it, make the milestones obtainable. And this is why I say Riskbreaker, I'm fine with the hostile strength. I'm even fine with the name of the challenge track. But if you're going to monetize it, you need to make it available to monetize. And so if somebody's going to miss a day, offer them 1 day's makeup, possibly. If they're going to maybe make the $20 coin worth 500 points instead of 350. Okay? For somebody who couldn't kill the silence at their ops level, offer them a discount on points to punch down. They got to do a lot more work, but at least they can do it. And this conversation is especially important today because the V'ger hostiles will be more difficult next month. So if you struggled this month What's it going to be like next month? Oof. Let's go around the panel. Tarpy, I saw you raise your hand in chat a second ago. What's your take on the name of the challenge track? Should it be a challenge? Should the hostels be hard? Should there be a completionist mechanic? Am I completely wrong on this? What's your take all the way around? Then I want to come to Putts and Matters.
I mean, it's called the challenge track, so it's not supposed to be easy. And I like the setup of it, where you get the purple stuff if you buy the ship and do all of your dailies. But I do wish there was slightly more flexibility. And I wish that they had built it differently such that if you spend $20 on it, you are guaranteed something. If your game lags or you forget to click something at the right time or anything like that. Like, I think they built too much timed requirement in there for it to be a game that humans play. Like, I like the challenge, I like the hostels, I like the rotation of the hostels, but it requires too much perfection.
So you're thinking something along the lines of the what was that thing that happened at the beginning of the year? We've only seen one time since then, where they gave us like a whole week to do a bunch of stuff. What was
Boldly
that?
Go.
Boldly Go. Give me that.
Boldly Go.
Give me Boldly Go. Riskbreaker says, I don't mind the perfection. Shelby says, Boldly Go mechanic, cumulative points over various days. Something like that. Boldly Go would be a good mechanic here. Okay.
It's complicated because it's like, I like how they did it because it's different and it rewards the people who do their dailies and the people who invested in the ship the first month. Like, you can get the purple stuff for 3 months longer than everyone else. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone who, just because my life got in the way and it's my own fault, missed claiming the last milestone or two out of 3 weeks.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad.
Frustrating.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that it was designed well for that reason. Like, I wish that they would have done something slightly different. And it's in the middle of the night for me and I'm already gonna forget about stuff right around bedtime. So
yeah,
it doesn't work well for me.
That's a simple change, making it an auto claim like the other passes are. You know, if you don't claim them, they auto claim when the timer runs out. So,
but I've said that, and then I was immediately met, and you were one of these people, with the response of, "But it's a daily, not a pass." And
no, I didn't say that. No. I firmly said that they should auto claim. Check your facts. Show me where I said that, because if I did, I might have been drunk. But
you agreed with Jules. You agreed with Jules where he said,
who doesn't agree with Jules? All right, first of all, but
so
damn it.
So which one of those is right? Because
I don't know.
You agreed with Jules where he said it's a daily claim, or it's built as a daily claim, not as a pass. So they won't ever do it. And
I really don't remember.
Jules.
I really don't remember this conversation. That said,
and it's not Jules's fault, y'all. I'm not mad at Jules. He was literally stating the fact.
Let me clarify, okay? That the dailies should not be included in Claim All. All right, that might have been a conversation that I said, because no, I do not believe that the Claim All should pull the dailies. I think you should pull those when you want strategically. All right. But B, the pass itself, well, that's why I'm clarifying. The pass itself, the actual challenge track, absolutely it should auto claim. Absolutely it should auto claim at the end. At the end of right now, like we got 6 days, 1 hour. If I haven't claimed it at the end of 6 days and 1 hour, just like I didn't claim the Ferengi pass, okay, then that should claim. All right.
So I want a pip there. Like, I think for me, as much as this game is a mess of pips, those pips on those five tabs, I actually check those because those have consistently been ones that have worked. And so, like, if they had put a pip for the challenge track when I had rewards to claim, I would have looked, because I ignore all the pips on the refineries and everything like that because those are always wrong.
Okay.
But
that would be solved with an auto claim. I don't know. You would be one of the first people that tell me they actually pay attention to pips. I don't pay attention. Half the pips don't work.
I do, because those ones work.
Okay.
Those ones work.
Fair enough.
So, and that is in
the
dailies
everywhere.
Everything.
We haven't heard that one in a long time.
Shush, Alex.
That's good, Vic. It's been a minute on that one.
But would it not, at least in this case, for a while, for some of us, at least change that, where some of us would remember to claim it?
You know, I don't disagree. One of the things that I have to teach my people at work in the daily, I'm sure you guys have heard about this too, is that it takes 23 days. This is science, by the way. It takes 23 days for a human being to form a habit. All right? Introducing something in the first week and expecting us to remember it on week 6 or week 7 without having done it, that is medically unlikely. And I mean that medically. That is a scientific brain fact that it takes 23 days for something to become a habit to the human race. That's why I think an autoclaim would be good. A pip is fine. I think an autoclaim would be better, okay? But a pip is fine. And again, Tarpy, I don't want to argue about it, but I really think you might have, at least in my case, you might have misunderstood the actual daily piece of it. Because, no, I think the dailies...
No, I agree. And we've been agreeing the whole time, more or less, but it's I wanted it to auto-claim.
Sure.
But the response that I have been met with is it's built like dailies. So it will not ever get that option.
I'm going to have to go back and reference that conversation because I don't know that that's the case. It
wasn't necessarily you, and it wasn't necessarily here.
So, again, what I'm going to say, though, and let me say this and we'll move on, is I have had conversations with them about potentially making it into an auto claim. All right? I don't know.
Good.
So
that I'd like to hear.
I hope that is something that happens. They're open-minded to it. I don't know if there's a technical reason why it isn't. All right? But I have talked to them about it, and they say they're going to talk, they're going to talk to other powers that be. The bigger question that I have is on the structure of the challenge track itself. And Tarpy, let me ask you this question here real quick. And before, right after I make this comment out of the chat, somebody says there needs to be a free track and a paid track. See, I think that is here. There is. Okay. It's already here. So this challenge track, while it is visually a little bit different than a free track and a paid track, instead of horizontal or on top and on bottom, instead of the tracks being horizontally aligned, these are vertically aligned. Okay. Your first 5 milestones are free with perfection. Okay. Milestone 6 and 7 require the ship, which are now not free, but will eventually be. And then milestone 8 will always be the quote unquote paid track. Now, let's talk about worth, and then I'm going to come back to the structure, Tarpy. Okay? If a player looks at a $20 ARC battle pass and all the choice tokens and all the materials and all the officer shards and everything that it gives them, and then they look at $20 here, they're probably not super enthused. I understand that. That's why a lot of people are going to say that it's not necessarily worth it for them to spend $20. All right. Now, if you look at the pack contents, if you look at things that are in the game as far as being available for sale, yes, mathematically, the $20 is worth it based on how Scopely has valued some of these other currencies. All right. It's worth it. Does it feel good? Is it something that's a no-brainer to buy? Probably not. But that's debatable. Some people are going to do it. Some people are going to look at this, in my case, for Sigma faction credits. Okay? Other people are going to say, well, I can get 20 Uhura shards for $100, or here I can get 20 for $20. Okay? Some people may even be looking at their Outpost control center. All right? Because this has rare parts in it. Okay? So there are a couple of things here that could provide value for some people. All right? Whether you're one of them or not, that is what I like. It's an item available for sale on the shelf that you can buy or not buy. Okay? Don't have to do it. Don't have to buy the Excelsior. To be honest with you, got to be honest, I'm struggling myself to find value in the Excelsior. You know, we'll transition to that here in just a moment. Well, what's the Excelsior actually doing for us? Well, it's getting us some research for an ability that most of us probably aren't going to use for a long time. G7 is getting some research particles that in all likelihood are going to be not good by the time we need them. The support research is not stupendous. I mean, it's some. Okay, some. Sure, Vengeance parts. Okay, I haven't unlocked the Vengeance yet, so right now it's right now it's not great, and even then the parts don't look that great. But maybe that's worth it. I don't know. Maybe it is. All right. For those of you still working on the Squall or the Reliant or the Junker, those are good little things. Okay, but we've defined these types of ships before. This ship is a refinery ship. It's a refinery ship. The value of the ship comes in the refinery if indeed you find value in the refinery. That being said, coming back to the challenge track and Risk Breaker, we've agreed on a lot of things tonight, which is scary, but I am going to depart from you on this one. There is a free track and there is a paid track. Why do I call it a free track? Well, in any other battle pass, we have to do tasks, helps, hostile kills, mining, Armada. No, I don't think Armadas anymore. What are the battle pass events anymore? They're usually very simple. Stupidly easy. But we still have to do that event in order to progress through the battle pass. Yep. Okay. These events require the exact same thing. Milestones 1 through 5 require us to complete an event. That event just happens to be in daily form. But in every single case, we're hitting hostiles. We're hitting hostiles. If you hit your hostiles every day for 5 days, you get milestone 5. How is that not a free track? Doesn't require the ship. Doesn't require anything. Milestones 1 through 5, completely free to play with participation. That is the free track of a battle pass. Except in this particular case, for the first 100 days, milestones 6 and 7 are monetized at $100. And milestone 8 is monetized at another 20. So is it worth it? Well, the $100 one, it's a little bit trickier of a question because you do still have the challenge track refinery that you get from the Excelsior. It pays some stuff. Okay? So that $100 could be whatever. Okay? The $20 token, again, we've talked about that. Don't need to discuss it again. Retrieving says, perfect participation for milestones 1 through 5. I'm going to ignore your $100 comment because I've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it one more time for you. Milestones 1 through 5 are free to play. They do require participation, just like every other battle pass ever. All right? So, doesn't require $100, not unless you want milestones 6 and 7. Okay? And by the way, it's not even perfect participation for 6 days, Tony. It's technically 13 out of 14 events. Okay? It's technically 13 out of 14 because it is perfect participation for 6 days, and on your 7th day, you can miss one of them. Okay? You got to have 13 out of 14 to hit milestones 1 through 5. And milestones 6 and 7 will be free after 100 days. Magu says, with the ship or without the ship? Without the ship. If you don't have the Excelsior, milestones 1 through 5 are free to play with the dailies. Okay? You can miss 1 out of 14 events. Okay? 1 out of 14. That's it. Wally says we have real life. Perfect completion is stupid. I don't disagree with you, to be honest with you. Okay? But it's no different than any other battle pass. Guys, here to tell you, how many of you guys got your de-sealing rod fragments out of the battle pass because you did all 20 days perfectly? Not me. As a matter of fact, I think mine is it still up? Can we see the overflow event? I can show you. I did terribly.
Yeah. I missed 1 day.
Oh, I must have missed several. Because for the first time ever, I actually bought points. And I bought points because I wanted the officer shards. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, I didn't want to, but I did.
I missed the 1 day.
Where the heck is it? I don't actually see it. Is it in the Rebirth Part 1 folder?
Yes.
Yep, here it is. Overflow. Look at that, guys. My final score was 330,000 points. Okay? Riskbreaker says that's overflow. That's different. Is it? I did my battle pass. It's
performance track, right? So it's free, but it's perfection.
Yeah.
So this is like the 4th and 5th milestones of.
Sure. Yeah, you're not going to convince me that it's different because it can still be done and it still requires perfection. Okay. And by the way, if we go back to the challenge track and you miss a day, well, no big deal. You can still get 4 milestones. Okay. Miss 2 days or 2.5 days. You can still get 3 milestones. Okay. So you can break this up however you want. Okay. All right. Fine. To appease your nitpicking retrieving, I will say that the free battle pass is milestones 1 through 3. Your overflow is 4 and 5. Your $100 is 6 and 7. 6, 7. And then your $20 is legendary. That's number 8. I mean, you can say it however you want. The fact is, it's free. Okay? And it doesn't require any investment to get there other than participation. Wolfwood says you missed days. You're not going to get all the rewards in a BP either, overflow or not. I agree. Look at me. All right. Dragon Keeper, stop it. You say $120 for a battle pass, SMH. No, because if you were even going to spend all through it, the $100 is a one-time thing. Okay. That's a one-time. And then $20 would be your weekly investment if you were going to. And again, people don't have to do it. So, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me come back. I want to go around the rest of the panel. Putz, let me ask you. This is the section that we're on. Hostels, strength of hostels, challenge track, and the perceived difficulty. If you were going to make adjustments, where would it be?
You know, I don't know if I would make any adjustments per se. Like if we were going to redo this month, right? Like we rewind it and go back. I think it was fine, all around. And yet there's just going to be some hostiles that not everybody can kill, and that sucks. But that also is a barometer for, hey, you know, slow down. You're way over your skis in your ops. You got to slow down and back in, right? Like that should be a flashing warning sign, like stop, don't go any further.
I don't disagree.
Now, should there be some sort of punch down mechanic that is, you know, I don't know what it should be. No matter what number you put out there, somebody's going to say, well, that's too many. And somebody's going to say, well, that's not enough. To be like, oh, if you punch down all the way to, you know, 3 ops levels below, and that's the best you can do, you know, it takes you 100 kills to do the both of the dailies or something, right? Like, I don't know where that is, and you're not going to please everybody by picking that. Should there be something like that? Maybe. Or maybe it's just, this is the small little portion of the game that players who can't currently hit them because they've opted up too high and don't have the back end of count. I mean, that's maybe the price you pay. That maybe there's a little tough love that needs to happen. My biggest issue is the officer going to stay the same for the next month or beyond, right? We're doing 2-month arcs. So am I going to get, I don't know, eight runs of this with Uhura, and then they switch it to a different officer, and now I didn't get to unlock Uhura? I'm more worried about that.
Well, has Uhura been sourced anywhere outside of the challenge track? Because to be fair,
Not yet.
To be fair, I do
yet.
not know the answer to that question. Okay, I do not know. If I'm guessing, then Uhura is probably not in the challenge track next month, but I don't know. I genuinely do not know the answer to that question. Okay, I would imagine that they're going to look at this like any other type of battle pass, and they're going to rotate stuff. I would not expect it to stay the same. But it could. I don't know. Okay. So I can't answer that. Don't fully know the answer to that. I did see this point in chat, which I do also kind of like, at least for perspective, that the $100 is essentially early access to milestones 6 and 7, because once free to play get that, then 6 and 7 also, after the 100 days of grinding the Excelsior, then milestones 6 and 7 also become freely accessible. So, it's interesting, Putz, to hear you say that you wouldn't necessarily make any adjustments. Like I said, I think from a monetization standpoint, I think they would want to entice as many people as possible to be able to spend the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would imagine that they would not want to eliminate a large percentage of players by making it too difficult for them to even be able to spend money on. Okay, that's why I don't want to violate the sanctity of the difficulty of the hostels. That's why, Burton says, well, killing 100 instead of 10 would be a pretty big red flag. And I think that's okay. At least then they're putting a lot of effort into it, right? They're putting work into it. So I think, and then not only that, but you also have the perspective of disengagement, right? If they don't engage now, how likely are they to pick it up later? And that, I think, is actually a very low number. If they can't do it from the start, the chances of them picking it up later is probably lower than it would be if they could do it now. I think that you would have a larger number of players who would be willing to do a little bit more grind if they could get better rewards out of it now, even if they had to punch more hostiles by punching down. Okay? On the other hand, Spock says it is free to play. If you don't play the game, you won't get rewards. And we've talked about that perspective a great deal on this show. So, I mean, that's a very, very fair point. Matters, let me come to you, and then we're going to move on to the Excelsior. Challenge track itself, with the structure, you satisfied with it, or would you make adjustments for your alliance mates who weren't able to do it?
Well, like my alliance mates specifically, like if I could just make it easier for them, that would be super. But challenge track, I'm fine with it. I think it was good. I mean, I gave it an 8 out of 10 in my little, how detailed I like to get with my gradings. So I do like the challenge track. Especially if they're going to keep using it to source newer officers, and it's not just like TMP Uhura forever, which I don't expect it would be. Maybe we'll have her for a few months, and then they'll change it. Like they've had a lot of months where they only have one new officer release, so if we're going to have 2 more months with only one new officer, they might keep her in the challenge track and then switch her to some new officer after that. So as long as it's changing at all, though, I'm happy. there had a couple shortfalls with me. One that's already been mentioned is if you forget to click on a check mark anywhere,
You're
you
done.
don't get
Yeah.
rewards for something that you should get based on your engagement. The one time I forgot to check that last milestone in the challenge track.
Yeah.
Another day I did the dailies and I did the Excelsior daily, but then I got a little distracted at the end of the night and didn't actually check the daily check mark.
Yeah.
So I didn't claim that daily. And I like kind of that's on me, but at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have gone out and killed the things if I wasn't going to get.
K92 says you guys are all overthinking it. It'll be fine. They're going to update it regularly, just like Swarm Sunday and Mining Monday.
They might, but very good.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So, well, you know, it's really interesting. This is where I would absolutely love to have that survey, Tarpy, because the chat is very divided on this. All right. I mean, honestly, the chat is very divided.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain Hunter says leave it alone. Polar Bear says I liked it better than I didn't like it. Sugar Red says leave it alone. Shelby says leave it alone. K92 says leave it alone. Magoo and Retrieving want better accessibility to some of the free-to-play milestones, which, again, I like the challenge of everything, which is why this is why Retrieving, I felt like I kind of struck it in the middle. All right. If a player has to kill 10 times as many hostiles because they're not up to snuff, right, then I still feel like they're putting in the time and the effort. You know what I'm saying? So they deserve to have that milestone is kind of how I feel about it. But it's still a challenge track, right? Like it's still, they're still having to put in the work for it, and it's still event-driven rewards. So that's why I think I'm okay with it kind of in the middle. Do I think they should adjust the hostiles? No, I don't. And you know,
definitely not.
I've seen,
I gave them a 10 out of 10.
I've seen the hostiles for next month, and well, guys, I'm squishy. You guys know I'm squishy, but these things whipped my tail. All right, they whipped my tail to the point where next month, with the parameters that were given, my recommendation was 1 or 2 hostiles a day. That's why I think there needs to be a punch down mechanic. If I think that I can only do 1 or 2 a day, what are players that struggled this month gonna struggle with next month? And that's my point. I don't want to lock out the challenge track. I don't want to lock them out.
Okay, DJs, you changed my mind a little bit.
Okay.
I do have 2 suggestions.
All right, lay them on me.
One,
JB says I'm a poor example. I mean, I know I'm squishy, JB. I am a little bit squishy, but I'm just saying they were really freaking hard. Okay? Vic says we don't have confidence. You can have confidence in one thing. They're going to be tough. All right, they're going to be tough. All right, go ahead, Butts.
So have a punch down mechanic that will allow people to engage even if they're squishy, right? And then to entice the monetization and the longevity of this, okay? Every month they add an officer, not take away, but add, not replace, but add an officer everywhere you see or now, okay? And then after a year, they take away an officer and add another officer. So by the end of this whole year buildup could be like it gets more and more and more and more valuable every month.
Wait, what? Am I hearing you right? That you're saying by the end of the year you want 240 shards available for $20?
Yes, because
get
most
out of here, Putz.
What? Hold on. Most listen. Most of them are going to be older officers, at least, some upwards to a year old, and they're right now with the officers that they've come out with and how they've sourced and whatnot. There's not very many officers that if you've had full engagement, that if you go, okay, it's been a year, right? Like you have most of the officers at T4.
Samo,
And if you do the math,
did Putz visit you yesterday? Did he steal your screech? Putz stole your screech, didn't he? All right, listen, Putz.
I didn't do anything.
Putz, listen.
Yeah.
I am all for that, but I would like to deal with realistic expectations here. Okay.
Fine.
Listen, if I'm taking feedback back, I would like to take feedback back that's not going to get me laughed out of the room. In fairness.
But it would solve problems. The fact that
no,
they've always had to
Putz, how many lights are there?
After the
how many lights do you see?
4 lights.
240 shards for $20. Yeah, 240 shards for $20. All right, sure. I'll put it. I'll get back to you on that.
Because that way they won't have to introduce yet another mechanic somewhere down the road, 3 months, 6 months, or whatnot, to keep sourcing these officers that we keep getting, and we got to pick them up here, we got to pick them up there. Like, this actually could be a very valuable thing, and they would sell a crap ton of those passes. And that's illegal. That's a legal measurement.
Yeah, that's actually quantifiable. Crap ton equals X amount of dollars. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. All right, let's.
You're fine. I can live with my world.
All right. Let's continue on. Let's talk about the Excelsior itself. We talked about the refinery here just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I would buy that pack. 240 shards for $20? Yeah, I'd buy it. You wouldn't? You'd buy it? I'd buy it. Excelsior. Let's talk a little bit about what the Excelsior is providing at this particular point. The Excelsior is currently providing. Why are you laughing, Matters? The Excelsior is currently providing prototype tech materials, research to G7 efficiency researches that are questionable in nature, unless you pay for them now. Look, Griffin was going to what? He was working on level 74, 75 buildings the other day, and they were already done with Uncommon. They were already done with Uncommon. They're on Rare at 74 and 75. So by the time you grind these research particles out to do these researches at a reasonable enough level that they're going to have a substantial impact, you're going to be done. Okay, you're going to be done. What we're talking about is these V'ger research particles.
We're getting 5 new buildings.
Yes.
Maybe we'll need them.
Specialty buildings don't usually take traditional materials, though. Okay, I didn't say he was completely done, Shelby. I didn't say he was completely done. I'm just saying,
materials, no.
Yeah,
resources, yes.
Resources, yes.
About half the time.
That's not what the research is offering. The research is offering material efficiency, and the crappy thing is that they are so expensive per level and individually tuned per material that, again, it's going to be a long while, probably well beyond what most people are going to need it for, unless you pay for it sooner. So I consider that to be a non-tangible, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think those provide me any value, period, whatsoever. All right. What else do we have? We've got some research for the support ability of the ship, which for a lot of people is very low right now. I have no doubt that it'll probably be decent eventually. But really, the big payout from this refinery that I can see is a catch-up mechanic for the Reliant, the Squall, and the Junker, and potentially an additional Vengeance parts source for late G or early G7. You also have Sigma faction credits. For 70 and down, you have traditional faction credits, which I don't know that is a super huge enticing thing. I know that there's a large chunk of them here, but there are so many places that you can get faction credits today. So I don't know if that's as big a draw as it is for the Sigma faction credits. The Sigma faction credits are very, very attractive to me. Then you've got these two
It is
exclusive.
worthless.
What?
It
Sigma
is
faction?
worthless for people that aren't D7.
Oh, yeah.
No, the other ones.
The faction
You
credits.
said you don't know how good they are?
I don't think.
The answer is not at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I don't think anybody's really hurting for faction credits these days, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I haven't been that way for a long time. Then you've got Outpost-related prototype forbidden texts, some extra materials. That's it. That's it. So the Excelsior works inside its loop. No doubt that eventually, possibly some of this Excelsior boost may be decent. I think you're going to see some interesting stuff with Shred. There is some PvE Shred here, which is never a bad thing. There's also some PvP Shred, which is very, very small amounts. But when you're talking PvP, every little bit matters if you're going to, if you're going to boost with this thing. There's PvP critical damage reduction, which again is probably going to be actually relatively substantial. It maxes out at 160%. But this is all based on using it as a boost. Okay? So I have no doubt that this will become a player eventually for players who spend some time and or money on this research and then, have the boost juice written out. Shiz says, so basically taking the crits to floors. It can. But I mean, we've got a lot of crit damage out there, so I wouldn't necessarily say that it itself is going to take the crit damage to the floor. I mean, do you only have 260% critical damage? No. You probably have several 100% critical damage. But reducing it will, in theory, should help extend combat, which is always a good thing. Divine says, when's the buff update coming that they postponed? I have not spoken to them about that this week. I know that there were significant problems with it, and I applaud them for pulling it until it's ready. All right? I am not holding them to a timeline on that. I know that they're working on it, but they have not provided a timeline. They found problems. They're working them. It's not going to be something I forget about, but I'm not pushing them for a new deadline on that. Okay? There's no point. But I applaud them for pulling it before it came out and broke combat altogether. So that's a good thing. Divine says updates on G5 or G6 scrapping. G5 scrapping was promised by summer. All right. We don't have any updates. It's not been discussed since then. Excelsior leaves a lot to be desired for me as a ship. If we're looking at the string of specialty ships that we had in 2025, where all of them ended up being really, really good, then I'm very let down by the Excelsior. Everything that we had in 2025 as far as a specialty ship, that included the relativity. A lot of you guys are doing your faction dailies with that. The Junker, great ship, right? Even the Revenant, great with materials and pretty powerful later on. And 2025 was a good year for game design when it came to specialty ships. So far, I'm not seeing it with the Excelsior. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Tarpy, tell me I'm wrong.
What? I was doing something. What was the question?
Is the Excelsior any good in the game as compared to the series of wins that we had with the 2025 specialty ships?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because now I can scroll over to my Excelsior section here, and let's see. The Excelsior got a whopping 2 out of 10. Yay! It fell short horribly. It's what?
I was just going to agree with you. It's a refinery ship, and the refinery's weak.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So it the boostability, what you get from it, even after you significantly level up those researches, they're going to help a little bit, but they're going to be inconsequential. I think none of them are slap your grandma good. They aren't going to be. None of them are going to be as helpful as a Max Fortify. None of them are even going to be as helpful as a Cerritos boost. So I'm not overly impressed at all. I mean, it does it to every single deployed ship, which is going to be kind of helpful if, like, when you're running an outpost.
Sure.
Except it's going to cost a lot to keep those active, since you'll only get 1 or 2 hostile kills with each enhanced, depending on the tier of your Excelsior.
Yeah, but you're doing 5 a day. So, I mean, that's not... You're doing 5 of those every single day for the daily.
Yeah, but you only get like 10% of a... Right? You only get like 10. They only drop like 10 of the things that you need to do the enhance.
I don't know.
And don't you need like 500?
I haven't paid attention to it because that's how
Not even
valuable it
10%.
is.
Yeah, you get like... You have to do
pretty
like...
cheap, I thought it was 100.
Let's double check.
Oh, even if it's...
And then
Okay,
you-
if it's 100, you gotta kill 10 a
So you-
day.
Which means you have to do your dailies
Yeah, do the daily.
Well,
to do it
no,
once.
because you only need to kill 5,
10.
No,
and
it
if you punch up a
10.
level, you only
The
have to
other
kill
one
3.
you do 10.
Okay, all right, hang tight. But you
What
don't
other
do that
one?
with the
Yeah,
Excelsior.
but you don't get the...
Yeah, the
Yeah.
juice doesn't come from anything other than the fighters. Now, that being said, it does cost 500. All right, so it does cost 500 to activate enhanced, but I don't know where this all came from. I've got 35,000 of it. I haven't used it one time this month. Did all that come from dailies? Did all of that come?
No, you get 500 per day from the Strongbox claim. So you get 1 enhanced per day from the refinery, and then you get whatever 10-20% from each fighter kill.
Well, you get 1 max fortify every 2 days with the Titan. So now max fortify is great. Don't take me wrong. Just saying, if we're talking about how much juice we get, the fact that this one is grindable and you get 1 free use a day, maybe that's not the end of the world on the ability. If it ends up panning out, the abilities don't necessarily look super great. The sourcing on the juice is in fact better than Titan. I agree with Divine. So we just have to get that research up there, which could take some time, and or money. So, and then, of course, remembering to use it. Now, obviously, the other thing is that it is good for outposts, which is nice. I like that. And it's fleet-wide. You don't have to send it anywhere. I actually thought that the warp range requirement on this was kind of humorous, in my opinion. Obviously, it's for the dailies, right? It's for the dailies. But it doesn't need to go anywhere. You can pop it out of base and pop the ability, and then it goes. Curly, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Okay. Magoo says, will you buff every 8 minutes for 6 hours to beat your outpost? Yeah, see, that's the thing that Jules and I were talking about. Are you going to stay up overnight and run this thing? And the answer is no, right? At least that's how I play Outpost. Now, if you're going to actively play Outpost, then maybe you would throw a couple of buffs in there. If you're needing a buff every 8 minutes for all 6 hours, then you're probably on the wrong level of Outpost. But I digress, okay? It's the bigger question is, where is it going to be useful? Listen, I think that eventually, given enough research, it's going to have some good abilities in the PvE range. PvP, we're going to see it, we'll see it being used here and there, I imagine. But the PvE abilities is going to be another version of a Cerritos boost, and we will find uses that we will need extra boosts for in the future. As a matter of fact, has anybody actually tried to boost their ship with the Excelsior while trying their silence? Because I will point out that the first 4, 5, or 6 researches even all have to do with the enhanced ability specifically for V'gers hostiles. Okay? Right here, we're talking V'ger enhanced isolytic damage, which is small. Enhanced isolytic defense, not great. All right, here we go. This is why I said that the shred is going to matter. This is all hostiles and armadas when enhanced is applied. That's shred. You've got extra barrier. Okay? And those are going to work on V'ger hostiles and anything else. Okay? Shiz says, where's enhanced V'ger barrier? Well, it's technically right here, except it's barrier on anything. Okay? So when enhanced is applied by Excelsior, given the fact that some of us are some of us are struggling a great deal with some of the V'ger hostiles, then I would imagine we need to take a look at these abilities. For those of you who have been struggling, how many times have we actually popped the Excelsior ability? This is one of those things where we talk about using the tools that the game provides, and where I defend the community saying, hey, it's going to take 21 days for us, or 23 days for us to remember that this is even a thing. Okay? It's going to take 23 days for us to even remember that this is a thing. If you did it today and you did it every day for 23 days, then it becomes ingrained in your brain. All right? Divine says, listen, Excelsior ability helps especially with the Gorn. Well, and the Apex barrier is going to help a great deal with the silence. Okay? So there's two of them that have been giving people a lot of trouble. And this will eventually help out if you've taken a look at that research. That all being said, do I still think the Excelsior's worth $100? You know, actually, I'm gonna. You know what? I take it back. I'm actually going to answer that question with a yes. Is it worth paying?
Track.
That's right. Is it worth paying to upgrade? Hell no. But do I think that the ship is actually worth having? Yeah, I'm actually going to go with yes because of the challenge track. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Extra Sigma credits every single week?
Unlock, yes. Tier up now.
Yes. There you go, Matters. Unlock, yes. Upgrading, no. Okay? I'm going to get extra challenge credits. I'm going to get this EXO. I mean, dude, this EXO here in milestone number 7, that's not a bad EXO to have. That's 75% ISO damage, 7 days, automatic, just an auto pop EXO comp that just lives back there. Okay? That's going to be helpful in a lot of scenarios. Okay? Lord of Chaos says, if you have the Vengeance, it's worth 100 easy just for the Vengeance parts. Well, fair enough. I'm not there yet. Trying. Okay? So, yeah, on the unlock, sure. I want to point something out. The refinery. Does the refinery, for the efficiencies, actually have anything to do with the tier of the ship?
Nope.
No, they sure don't. Which, by the way,
tier of the ship being upgraded.
By the way, that's beautiful. I love that. Just throwing that out there. Super big kudos to game design on that one. I love that. That means at tier 1, I get the same number of parts and all this stuff as somebody would have if they max the ship. That's actually pretty big. Okay. So I like that. Is the ship worth having? Yes. Is it worth spending to upgrade? Not yet. Probably not yet. Okay. If there was an argument to be made for upgrading, it's going to be in the research. And that's a big if. It's a big if.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the research is tier locked. All right. So that's a big if. Okay. Depends probably on the status of your account. Okay. So there you go on that. Putz, let me come to you. Did you buy Excelsior this month?
Oh, you know it. I bought it at 11:30. I beat Lost In. I bought it before he did. Of course I did. No, I'm not worried about the Excelsior until what? March? April?
Should be end of March, I would think. No.
Well,
very beginning of April.
Ask me like
very beginning of April.
Yeah, ask me March 15th, and I'll be like, okay, let me reassess, and I'll give you my Excelsior thoughts. But it's a non-entity for me.
Okay. Tarpy, what about you? Did you pick up the Excelsior?
Yes.
What do you think? 30 days in.
I have never once intentionally used the buff. I think I turned it on once when I accidentally hit that instead of the summon button. So
have you struggled with any of your V'ger dailies?
Not really. No, but I have a reasonably strong Crenshaw. So for for Op 71, I haven't really struggled. And I will say one thing that did mildly impress me about the ship was that stupid event that I actually forgot to spend the event store currency for, which just makes me feel like a huge loser. That with a tier 4 Excelsior, you can hit up to level 69 of the fighters.
Oh yeah, some people were using that crew and
So like
splashing the
that's
leaderboard.
not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is. And it is a
Yeah.
pretty ship, says Groovy. The
So it's
artwork,
like-
the artwork's nice. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that it's based off of a different enterprise than we have in the game so far. But like I take it out for the 5 ships that I need to kill. I have gotten slightly annoyed that when you tier it up, it gives you a very specific system that you can take it to, and you can't go up. Or at least it didn't work for me when I tried going higher. And so I was like,
because you get more points for hitting higher.
No, see, you guys are getting these dailies mixed up. The one for the fighters, I think, is system. Rocky Mountain says you can go up, but I think you can go up with the regular
Yeah, you do.
features. Are you sure?
No. For the fighters.
I don't think
because
that
I
I
only
had
kill
luck with
3 a
that.
day to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because it says you get 1 point for killing the X level.
You can go one
and then
level
you get
higher.
2 points for killing higher than that.
1 level higher, says Canine Tooth. And beyond that, it
Right.
won't score. Okay. Alpaca says same thing. I go up
Right,
with the fighters.
so-
really? Okay.
So maybe the 69s won't work.
I never bothered.
Right. So I always think with dailies like that, you should be able to like just send it higher if it can hit higher and do the thing. And so I don't like having to look at the specific system and then having to remember that based on my tier.
Okay, fair. All right. Let's transition. Any other thoughts out of the chat on the Excelsior? I think, generally speaking, it's a little underwhelming for me. But, you know, again, tiering it. I do think that it's worth having for the challenge track, vengeance parts. I'm using Serene Squall and Reliant parts. Heck, that was probably responsible for one of my codas, to be honest with you, was the Serene Squall. Was that in coda? I think it was, wasn't it? Serene Squall and Relativity were both in coda. So that was probably very, very helpful for that day. So, yeah, no, I think it's worth having. I don't know if there's value in the upgrade yet. All right. Any other questions or ideas out of the chat? And Venadia says, I really hate when it's a refinery ship, you know. And you know, I don't disagree, and Venadia. I love for a ship to have utility. That's why 2025 was such a good year for specialty ships. They all had utility. You know, 2024 did not. It was a bad year for ships, and you know, the first one in 2026, not a good look. So hopefully they get their groove back. But 2025 was really, really good for specialty ships. And that's true. That's a big yet. All right. There's still at least a month to go. All right. Let's transition over to officers this month. Okay. We had, I believe, 3 officers this month? We had 2. We had Sulu and Uhura. As you can see from my screen, I had great luck with Sulu because he was in Chronicles of the Ascendant. He was in coda. However, I did miss out on Uhura, who was in our challenge track, because I missed that a couple of times, and I'm going to assume that there really wasn't great sourcing for her anywhere else then, other than challenge track, because, well, I mean, I did get 69 shards. Just, I'm assuming that it was all from challenge track-ish areas. Excelsior store, you say? The Excelsior store. That's the challenge outpost. I don't remember seeing Uhura in here. No. There's no Uhura here. Okay. So you got the challenge track, pretty much it, with regards to Uhura. Here's the thing. I am curious about these officers. Okay. And the reason that I say I'm curious about how you guys felt about these officers is because obviously they're outpost officers, right? Sulu has a captain's maneuver, increasing apex barrier for 10 rounds against non-armada hostiles. Outpost and retaliation hostiles. Works against hostiles of level 81 and down, so they're future-proofing this guy. And then his officer ability is increasing critical chance for 4 rounds if there is any state applied to an outpost or retaliation hostile. Now, this is actually super key because states are difficult with outposts. The Voyager crew doesn't work. So let me ask, how do we apply a state to an outpost? There's a couple answers. I mean, it can be done. Can't do it below deck. Not with the Voyager officers. Retrieving says assimilate. Good
With,
call. Dazok below deck. Yep, I like Dazok.
Assimilate with Dazok. Yeah.
Dazok below deck. Cool. Lorca on the bridge. Yes. Okay. GG. Yep. Gorkon. Good. What else? Nero. That's it. You got 5. Okay. Now, those are pretty important. That's your crit build officer. He works the same way as Khan if you use Khan. Here's the deal with these 2 officers.
There's actually 6. Yeah. TMP Uhura.
Well, yeah.
If you manage to unlock her.
Yeah. Then you got TMP Uhura on round start. She has a chance to apply hull breach. All right. It's only 50-50. It's not good odds right now until you get her tiered up a little bit higher. She has a better below deck, I think, which is providing cascade damage against outpost or retaliation hostiles. Now, here's the thing. You use her below deck, you lose the synergy. All right. And I think synergy is going to be important. Okay. Given what may come in future months. Those in podcasts couldn't hear me wink, so I'm going to say wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. I think synergy could be important. But I think we're actually missing the overall problem with the motion picture officer set. All right. Are these officers good? Sure. Are they great? Are they bad? No. Are we ever going to use them?
Yes.
Why?
3rd ship on outpost or 4th ship.
Why?
Yeah.
Or only ship eventually.
To kill bigger outposts?
Why?
Just
to get more
you don't have to do other
stuff
officers.
from them?
To get more stuff, says Matters? Hold on, I got a button for that. No, that's not a good answer, Matters. Where do you get more stuff? Because you can't punch up high enough to get more stuff than a loot crew.
Loot crew doesn't give me the things to. It doesn't give me more of the things to upgrade the outpost control center.
But a third ship for me might get me to the end of a 66 and not die, with 10 more hostiles left to go.
But if you did a 63 with a loot crew, you'd actually make more plunder. Do you know that?
But I can't do a 63 with a loot crew and get all the way to the end.
So why would you want to go to a 66 then?
Because if I can get 15 out of the 30 hostiles of a regular outpost of wave 2, that will get me more than going all the way to the end of a 63 because I can't use a loot crew to do it. Like I can loot crew a 60, but I can't loot crew a 63.
Can I get a math check on that risk breaker? That does not sound accurate. I want to double check that. You're saying that if you can do 15 hostiles of a 66, then that's better, more loot than loot crewing Even halfway through
No,
a 63?
I'm saying if I can get 15 of wave 2, so that's 42 plus 15. So I'm missing, if I just don't do the last 15 hostiles of a wave of a 66, that will give me more plunder than if I did a 63 all the way through without a loot crew.
Okay. Well, actually, chat, you've got a better outlook on this than I did. Because here's the thing. I like the officers and the abilities that they're providing. Okay? Can I be honest? I like these officers for a third or fourth ship. Problem is loot. And for what a lot of people are chasing, which is plunder, all right, a lot of people are chasing plunder, then they're going to try to loot crew it. Now, if you're trying to get the outpost control center parts, love that. Wait, what are you saying, Daystros? The officers are not... Tell me 4 ships worth of officers that currently work against outposts, Daystros. At this particular stage, any officer that works against an outpost is going to be good right now because we don't even have 4 crews. But Shiz is right, and this is my point. You're not going to use these officers for a loot setup. Okay? So that's my problem with them, and I'm not using them. Okay? Because I'm looting. You don't have 4 crews that do loot. You don't have 4 crews that do loot. Okay? Now, if 4 crews let you hit up into G7 range, a 70 or a 73, then Jules talked about this in the very beginning, that the most important could be the plunder, but it could also be the control center parts. Okay? Now, let me ask a question. And I don't know if you guys have done the math on this. I feel like I have. It could definitely be wrong. All right. But with the introduction of the challenge track, I feel that my pressure on outpost control cores has been relieved a little bit. The pressure on plunder has not. Okay. Now, Riskbreaker says, why would one need 4 loot crews? Well, that was the argument they were making, Riskbreaker. You guys have said that loot is all that matters. All right. Now, there could be the loot at the beginning, right? The outpost control cores. But you guys have all said loot is what matters. Plunder is king. And I still feel like plunder is still a pretty significant problem, right? We don't have nearly enough starts. The starts that we're getting, we have to be very, very conscious of how we're using plunder or how we're obtaining plunder. If we're obtaining plunder, if our goal is plunder, then these particular officers are not conducive to that goal. That's my problem with them. Now, if your goal is to hit bigger outposts because you want more outpost control cores, then fine. Absolutely. These are going to be great officers for that. But we'll make less plunder on an outpost unless you're in Putz's case where these guys actually let you finish one. I mean, that could be a thing. If he can't finish a 63 with loot, but he can use these officers and finish a 66, then he will get more plunder. So that's cool. I think that's a little bit more niche, Putz, to be honest with you, but I'm glad that works for you because here's the thing. These officers are going to be effective against outposts. I just feel like hitting bigger outposts is not necessarily the goal right now. I still think it's plunder. I could be wrong on that, but I still think it's plunder. So if plunder is where you need to focus, then I don't know that these officers are 1,000% right. You know what I'm saying? Now, tell me I'm wrong. Shiz is yelling at me in all caps in chat. Stop that. I can see it just fine. All right. If you are, he says you're wrong. Take it up with Riskbreaker. I Kill You also says I'm wrong. Okay. Tell me why. Don't just come at me with you're wrong. Tell me why. Because I do think that these officers are going to be beneficial against outposts. But all month long, you guys have been screaming about plunder. Now it's not a problem? Tell me what changed. Hi, Kill You says, I don't think you're wrong. You just told us to tell you were wrong, so I told you. Fair enough. All right. Shiz says, because there's eventually alternative strategies. Yeah, I don't care about that. I want to know about it right now. Where are you guys getting your plunder now? Do you have enough plunder? Yes or no, chat? Do you have enough plunder right now? Do you have enough plunder from an outpost right now? Answer that question, Shiz. All right. And everybody's going to... Spock says yes. And Daystro says yes. So far, everybody else says no. Lord of Chaos says plunder is butt. Cruzito says, I don't care about plunder. How do you not care about plunder? Did you already buy everything?
So what were the things you get from plunder, DJs? A Vengeance and Cisco, right?
Skill points.
And oh, right. They made that slot for sale. The Fleet Commander slot.
So plunder gives plunder gives you Hierarch shards, which I'm sure she's not maxed. And by the way, she's turning out to be better than expected in PvP. Just throwing that out there. Hierarch is kind of legit. Believe me or not.
That was the prediction, right, from the beginning, that they were going to be a strong officer.
Oh yeah, she's pretty tough. They are pretty tough. So if you're not buying Hierarch shards and you like any sort of PvP, go with that. Skill points, great. It's also where you would unlock Cisco if you're working on that. Okay. Cruzita says you don't need the 8th seat. I don't care. I don't care if you need the 8th seat or not. You obviously bought Cisco. Okay. A lot of people didn't. So this is their primary sourcing on Cisco. They need plunder.
He's also bought a lot of seats if this is his 8th.
Damn straight. Having 7 fleet commander slots, having 7 fleet commanders seated is already like 3 or 4 better than a lot of people. Okay.
It's probably 2 more than you actually need. Anyway, so I think 5 is good. I would never spend for more than 5. You can switch the fleet commander as needed.
Premium mirror dust. Okay. I wouldn't expect Cruzito would still need that. But a lot of us do, myself included. Vengeance blueprints, probably not a thing for a lot of you. I'm not going there. But yeah, Cisco sourcing. And then once you're done with Cisco sourcing, there's skill points there. Hierarch sourcing. Sigma Fleet Commander credits, which you're definitely going to need. I can't believe how slow those things are. Those are terrible. Terribly slow. Here's the deal. I don't think that there is anybody in this chat that has enough plunder right now. All right. I don't even think Shiz has enough plunder to do everything that needs to be done with this store. I mean, you say you're getting enough. That is very, very uncharacteristic of any of the rest of the feedback that I've gotten. Everybody's talking about plunder. That's why they want the starts. Right? Riskbreaker says we lost too many outpost starts. That's why everybody was complaining about starts. They wanted the plunder. Okay. Spock says I need more medals than plunder.
So
I haven't found that medals have actually been as tough for me. But they come in the same way, right? They come in the same way.
Mm-hmm. So my question, though, DJs, is there not a situation where somebody who's currently single shipping an outpost with a loot crew can add 2 more ships and potentially eventually 3 more ships, hit a higher target, add 3 weaker ships, maybe significantly weaker ships, and still be able to hit a higher target thanks to crews like these TMP crews, which provide Apex Barrier, which is very scarce against retaliation hostiles.
Sure.
Provides Hull Breach, which is fantastic to help killing targets faster. I mean, you kill them 50% faster. And what was the other one's just crit chance. So that won't help much if you're sending weaker ships. While still putting a loot crew on their big ship that they were soloing the smaller one with.
Okay.
And not be able to get more
It would have
more
to
plunder
be
that way.
It would have to be a situation like Putz. Okay? And honestly, obviously that exists. If Putz is in that space, then obviously that space exists. But you would have to punch up and last long enough to outdo your smaller target with loot crew. All right? Putz is saying that he can't loot crew the smaller one. So by punching up and lasting longer, he can actually get more. All right, that's great. I think the point that I'm trying to make here is these officers are actually not a slouch. And as Cruzito pointed out a few minutes ago, well, they do actually work in situations other than outpost. As a matter of fact, let's take a quick peek at Sulu's captain's maneuver. I don't know that this is a game-breaking thing, but with some synergy.
It's still good, though.
With some synergy, and maybe synergy that comes in the future, that could also probably assist some people with some feature hostiles. 10,000 or how much synergy does Sulu get? It's 4,000 per side, isn't it?
I think it's... Is it 4? Might be 4. I thought it was 3.
STFC.space. Going to take a look at Sulu here. I don't remember exactly. I'm running off memory. TMP Sulu. Yeah, 3,000 per side, guys. So 2,000 to start, 6,000 more gets you 8,000. All right, that's almost double life. Could anybody use that against a V'ger hostile? Interesting. Okay, so Cruzito's right. These officers have uses outside of outposts as well. Okay, so I think when I'm looking at these officers, there's a couple of uses. I do believe that they're a little bit niche. I don't know. See, for me personally, I'm getting more loot out of punching down right now. If I try to punch up, I don't last long enough to earn more plunder. Now, obviously, not everybody's in that same space. Okay? Not everybody's in that same space. Divine says V'gers have 90% shred. Do all of them have 90% shred? And even if they did, more barrier is still more barrier, right? I mean, if you had 8,000 more barrier, then that's still what ends up being, is that 20? No, hold on. If you had 8,000 barrier, that means you're still going to deflect 12% net of their damage with barrier. Please tell me I'm doing that right. I'm trying to think in my head. The 61 plus have 90% shred. If you've got 8,000, it's not a direct correlation like that, Carissa. It's a percentage. So you'd still get a net 12% extra shred. I think. Magoo, help me with math. It hurts. Let me see. And by the way, I don't agree that they're great, Shelby. I don't.
Straight up efficiency formula. So that sounds right.
Yeah.
Or no, because 100% shred would be 50%, right? It would be 50% smaller.
Okay, there you go.
Which would get you a 50% more survivability. So it's actually, what's half of 12? So it's 50. You would still get 57.5% for each 10,000.
Okay. All right.
I think.
I don't think that sounds quite right. I don't think that sounds quite right. But either way, Andy says, why does more ships equal less loot? Because of the ship power loot distribution. And this is what we were talking about with Loot Crew. Let's say, like Cruzito was saying, his winning strategy right now is use one monster ship and then smaller, like, miners. The theory crafting behind that is that your Loot Crew survives the longest. And has the largest percentage of power, so it gets the most loot out of a battle. Think of the old Armada, loot distributions. So that's why. Even in Cruzito's minor method, the big ship requires loot. So, yeah, that's why if you put multiple ships, if you put 3 big, powerful ships, then your loot crew is only going to affect a third of the loot instead of 90% of the loot. So, that would be why. I guess suffice to say that the officers have some use. They're not the best thing in the world, because they don't assist with the problem of plunder. Unless you're putts, apparently. So if you're putts, then it's good. But I think most of us are not in the situation where we are going to make more plunder by adding another ship. And that was my problem with these officers. I feel like the officers are good in and of themselves. The problem is not with the officers. It's with the actual loot table of the outposts themselves, which was also part of my review for the month. If you were re-examining the loot tables of the outposts, you can't make it so that punching down with a loot crew actually earns more. That's right, Shelby. Punching down doesn't make sense. They foobarred the math on that, and I've told them that. If they want to make these officers more valuable, then they got to fix the loot tables on the outpost, which also involves providing more plunder. Because then people won't be scared to punch down. Yeah, well, people won't be scared to punch down. There'll be more incentive to punch up, and you solve some crowding problems too. Although, I don't think we've seen crowding problems this month since there's been no starts. So, there's that. Outpost Battle Pass starts tomorrow. I believe. Is it tomorrow, Tarpy, or is it Wednesday? I think it actually is tomorrow. I have to go back to the blog post. Let me see. And
That's one of those moments where you answered your own question 3 different ways, and then
I don't remember.
Did the thing. It was great.
I don't actually remember.
It was great.
Let's see. Interim event schedule. Let's take a look. Outpost Battle Pass starts, tomorrow, Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see what they've done there. I haven't seen it yet. I have no idea what's in it. All I can say is it better be awesome. Hey, Marine, what's going on? You were grinding rep today. I finally broke 9 trillion. Whoop, 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 whoop for me. Sugar Red says, directives is more a problem than pushing down for plunder. Well, they're one and the same, Sugar Red, to be honest with you. They're one and the same. If you add more plunder, then you don't need more starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're one and the same. You could do either one. You could give the directives and leave it alone, or you could redo the tables, make your officers somewhat valuable, change the plunder loot tables, and then you don't need the extra starts. You know? So, I mean, there's that. They're basically one and the same. So, there's that. Divine says use 3 Borg cubes in your gold. Well, it depends. Again, are you chasing loot? Because 3 Borg cubes will still split the loot table by 3. So, there you go. All right, so there's the arc pretty much as a wrap-up. Magoo doesn't like the challenge track. He's very upset about the challenge track in chat right now. He doesn't like how I've characterized it. Explain to me why, Magoo. It has a free track. So why is that bad? You got to explain this to me, man. I'm not... DJ says he doesn't like it either. Well, you got to explain it to me. Because you get some partial rewards for partial participation, and you can get more if you play more, and get more if you pay more, and it's pretty much the same as any battle pass. So I'm just curious what's not right about it. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Let's see. Well, no, it didn't impact the regular battle pass, Jimpy. That's not what he was arguing. I think he was arguing about the amount of participation that it takes. Magoo says, I don't like the paid part of it. If you miss one day, you don't get anything out of that. Oh, dude, we don't disagree on that. No, we don't disagree on that at all. That's actually why I said at the very beginning, don't buy the $20 token until like the very end of the week if you know you're going to hit. If you buy that token on Monday and then real life comes up, that's a really crappy feeling, right? So don't put yourself in that spot. All right? Definitely not. That's why, I wouldn't buy it till the end of the week if I know I'm going to actually be able to knock it out. So, yeah, no, I don't disagree with you on that. That is a crappy feeling, but you're in complete control of that. Magoo says the dailies need too many hostiles. Is 10 too many? I don't think 10's too many. The more challenging piece has been that Apex barrier one. And I still don't think they've tuned that one right. For players that are that were struggling with that, how many hostiles are you now having to kill to do the Apex barrier one? Magoo said for 71 plus. Oh, well, no. Okay, so here's the deal, Magoo. The silence, they're tricky, right? Yes, I'm getting 5 to 6 points per kill. But Cruzito's right. If you crew it right, you can one-shot it. But here's the deal. Here's what I've noticed, okay? I can go for the kills. I can get 10 kills, okay? But then if I change a crew, and this is the only thing that's a little bit annoying to me, if I change a crew, then I can go back and one more hostile will finish the daily. That is the annoying piece to me, is that those two dailies don't align like the other sets do. Hurak align, Gorn align, but technically you need two different crews for the silent daily. All right? And that is annoying. I don't disagree with that. All right? That is annoying. But that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing for that daily, just to knock it out easy. I'm certainly not going to hit 40 hostiles, okay? If I'm looking at the amount of time that it would take me to come home, recrew, and go back and kill one, that's still faster than 40 more hostiles, all right? So, yeah, I don't think that's what I would be doing. Divine says, I find Apex Barrier one is hard with the 90% shred. Right crew will get it done in one hostile, Divine. All right, that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I've been using my normal G7 crew to go up and get the 10 kills. Then I come back and I do a form of Anorax. Actually, I think I'm running Anorax Seska Suitor. Anorax Seska Suitor will get you in one hostile. Okay, Anorax Seska Suitor, and then of course your full complement below deck. That'll get you done in one. But that doesn't help me kill 10. I got to put Janeway back in to do the rest of the kills. Sugar Red says ship matters too. Yeah, ship does matter. Of course, I'm using a big old Crenshaw. I don't know what Magoo's using. You kill them too fast? Well, yeah. No, see, that's the thing about the silence, Magoo. Killing it is not how you get a bunch of Apex Barrier. You have to extend battle. So if you're killing them fast, that's great for the 10 kills. But then you got to change your crew to extend battle. All right? For the one where you need a bunch of barrier. All right? So that's why I'm changing my crew, and then that battle lasts forever, and I'm getting plenty of barrier, and it's one and done. All right? But in that regard, regarding that mechanic, I agree. It's a little bit annoying. Divine says use Chang instead of Janeway, so do Chang, Seska Suitor, use a cube, put Pelia below, put Walk Joachim down below also. Okay, Joachim works. Or is Joachim on the banned list?
Again,
is Joachim on the banned list?
That's going to be a separate crew. No. Well, no, but Pelia is. So that's recruiting a separate time to be able to get the second daily.
Yeah. Now, the reason, just FYI, the reason that they're saying use Pelia is because she's on the ban list and it extends battle. Okay? That's the key. Pelia is on the banned list, so she is extending battle, and it gives you an opportunity to mitigate a lot more of that damage. All right? So let's take a look. Against that, Pelia's on the ban list. Yeah. Pelia's on the list. The hostile gains a massive amount of Apex Barrier, which will slow down your ability to kill it. All right? Which means every single round that you're surviving, then you're mitigating more with Apex Barrier because you're hitting it with less damage. Okay. Divine said, be careful, DJ. It's not a banned list. It's a list that boosts the hostile. Correct. I should be careful in my verbiage. It is not a banned list. It is a buff list. Okay. Using these officers will significantly strengthen the hostile against you. In this particular case, which I'm sure they didn't think about, all right, Pelia actually makes the barrier daily a little bit easier. Okay. So fair terminology, Divine, but that's how you do it. All right. Magu says, I don't want to change crews to kill the same hostiles in the same system for 2 different tasks. I get it. I mean, that's up to you. Right? You can kill 40
killing after you're done the first time.
Yeah, you can kill the extra 30 to 40 hostiles if you want. I think if you timed it out, it would be if you timed it out, it'd probably be faster for you to come home and recrew and go back. All right. Is that a little bit more annoying? Sure, I agree. I agree with that, but that's what the event calls for. I have to change my crews for a lot of different things we do. I use different crews for waves versus outposts versus armadas versus my 71 hostiles versus PvP versus Reliant hostiles versus my Serene Squall hostiles versus my Dauntless. Man, I got to change crews for all that stuff. That's why I like crew presets. But it's still too many.
People should be thankful that you only have to do it for the silence and not the other ones.
True that. It's still too many hostiles. Well, then cut out another loop. Or ignore this one completely. But I think that the challenge track has value. But I mean, that's up to you. That's something that we talk about a lot is, you know, does it provide enough value for you to even engage? All right, you don't have to do it. Don't have to do waves. Don't have to do outposts. You don't have to do any of this stuff. But, I mean, it provides sourcing in the game for things. If that does not provide value to you, then don't. That is definitely a choice you get to make. All right. So, there are the officers. I'm torn on them. Like I said, I did not unlock Uhura this month. I did get Sulu. I think that the officers can provide value, but for me, the value is still in plunder. Jules Verne says, I'm on the ban list at Chuck E. Cheese. Doesn't mean I can't get in, just means they need to use buffs to kick me out. Fair enough. Good point. All right. Questions.
Did you cheese the
What?
Nothing.
What? Did he cheese the Chuck E. Cheese thing?
Don't worry
Yeah,
about
he totally did. It was fantastic. I loved it, Jules. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. All right. So there. We've done our discussion. We are going to come back on Friday. We're actually going to rate this arc. This is what we want you guys to be thinking about this week. Tarpy, do we have a survey ready to go?
We can.
Well, what does that
Post
mean?
it in the circle if you want it.
Okay.
No,
What?
it's there.
Why are you saying it like that? Is there something wrong with it?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, what? Wilson says the arc is an F. Well, lucky for you, we're not grading it. We're rating it. Polar Bear says I'm going to give it a 6 or a 7.
Well, okay, I'll change the question because there was an AF question, but okay, hold on.
There was a what? What is that?
AF question. There actually is a grade the arc on A through F, so
Oh,
I'll
no,
change
we
that.
said we weren't doing that, remember?
Just hold on.
Okay.
No, we said we would. No, there were 2 different things. It's okay. I'll go change that.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought I'd responded directly to you. I said I like the rating scale 1 to 10. But okay. Anyway, we've got
Right, because that was. It's fine after.
I'm confused.
It's good.
Anyway, okay. There will be a survey link, and it is completely anonymous. There's no identifiers in there. It doesn't ask for any game data, email, names, nothing like that. So we want a complete, true, unbiased opinion. However, we are going to give away. We're going to give away a pack to anybody who takes the time to complete our survey. Or not to anybody. Hold on. Rephrase. What? I got it, Tarpy.
We can't have it be anonymous.
Yes, Tarpy, I got it. I got you. I thought about this. So if you, we've got that proof room over on our Discord, okay? If you complete the survey, just if you don't mind, take a screenshot of the survey completion page, post it over into the proof channel, and we'll do the same thing that Jules helped us do that 1 month here in, how long are we going to keep the survey open, Tarpy?
5 days.
5 days. There you go. So in 5 days, we'll close the room back down, and we'll tally all that up, and we will do a drawing for a free pack. So if you have the time to fill out the survey completely anonymously and get us some data, that way we can just have our own data, go back and look. But here's what we're looking at. All right. And I'm just going to tell you, I need your guys' help with it. I need 1,000 responses for it to justify me giving away a prize on it. Okay. So 1,000 entries. So share it with your alliances, share it in your discords. If we get 1,000 entries, then we'll give away a $100 pack in a drawing if you present your screenshot in the proof channel. All right. So take the survey, put it in the proof channel. And if we get 1,000 entries, then we will we'll do a drawing. Okay. Cool. No, Daystros. I just need a screenshot of the completion page, just where it says thank you. It won't track back to anything. I got you guys. I thought about this because we've done this mechanic before. All righty. Cool. Anything else? Last second thoughts, questions from the panel? Anything in chat? Coming up with your ideas or anything in chat? Will a picture of you do it? No, DJ. No. Please also include your banking information, though. That would be great. Divine says, don't add your player ID in the proof channel. No, I don't need your player ID. No, just a screenshot
Guys,
of completion.
what we're looking for, right? So what we are looking for is approximately 1 per person. And what I have in here is the ability to fill it out once for your main account. If your main account is over 51, I have an option to add an alt account, and that is 1 total survey. So each individual Discord user, so if you have multiple Discords, don't overthink this. This is 1 per person.
Yeah, please. I need good data. I need good data.
Right. Right. So if you don't want to fill it out, Skippy, don't fill it out. But the thing is, we are not getting data from any other CCs. So you have 2 people with high advanced degrees here. I have a PhD, Putz has a master's. We do data crunching all the time. They don't.
Well, I mean,
that's where I'm going here. I do number crunching all the time.
That's fine, but
so
all I'm after is to have some data that we have access to, because we don't have access to any of the other data. That's all.
Right.
So, the survey link is coming. Let me put that, and I'll put it in the podcast description as well. Wow, that's a really long link. Hold on. Where's the short link?
I gave you the short version.
Where's that?
I gave you the short version. In the circle.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Got that. Throwing that in Twitch chat. I'll put that in the episode description as well. Candid Onion says 1,000 responses isn't enough. Well, I mean, I would love more, okay, to be honest with you. But, I'm just saying that's what I think that's what I need to have to at least represent our community as well. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't get access to any of the other data. Scopely doesn't share that kind of data with us. And I don't get it from anywhere else. So if we want it, we gotta get it ourselves. So that was the thinking behind us doing it. I know that other content creators do it, but if we don't have access to it, then we can't analyze it the same way. So I would like to be able to do that.
My other idea here, y'all, is that when we look back at everything in December, we look back with the oh, well, July was so much better than January. And what I'm really trying to get out of this is a consistent 12 months of, you have 5 days at the end of the month-ish to fill it out when your memory is fresh of that month. So then what we can do is, as we look back when we get to December, we can say, oh, here's how our opinions actually looked then. Here's what we really thought of that month, that kind of thing. And it's using the data that we provide, and then it's just consistent. So I'm going to have these same questions every month. And then it's consistent, and we have a way to track kind of how we're looking at months while we're there.
Yeah. Clark says, what preventative measures from using somebody else's screenshot? Not really, honor system, but we will see the actual respondents. If we get 1,000 posts in the proof channel, but there's only 500 survey responses, then we're going to know you guys played unfair. So, so there's that. But
like,
yeah, I mean, I'm asking for a little bit of honor system on the proof channel, but I'm just trying to provide a little bit of incentive. That won't be there every single month. We're hoping that you guys find value in the data. But I did want to provide a little bit of an incentive this month to break out of your cycle, right? Make it a habit and fill out the survey that we're offering. Burton says we're making this complicated. It's not really that complicated. Just fill it out. And I'm gonna do a giveaway this month. But after that, we're not gonna do that every single month. So the proof channel won't even be necessary. In the future, it'll be, just do the survey if you want to do it. And hopefully you guys will see value in the data. But this month I decided to offer up a little extra just to, as you say, Risk Breaker, get the ball rolling. All right. And we'll see, after that, hopefully you guys see value in the data and you'll continue to do it and share it. And I would love more than 1,000 responses, to be honest with you. Okay, so that's what I would like.
10 so far.
Yeah,
13
hey, we got 10
so far.
Let's go. So there, I'll put the link in Twitch chat again. I will also put it in the graphics room for the podcast audience, and it will be in the podcast description and the YouTube video description as well. Okay, cool. Any other questions? Anything else? Message is pinned. There you go. Where's the meetup form? You know what? I'll throw that in there too. Where is that?
I can't pin both unless you both, if you paste them both.
I'll just send that one to you, Trick Diva. I'll just send that one to you. All right.
Thank you.
We got to go. That is it. We are out of time. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for reviewing the arc and sharing your unbiased opinions. Tony says, where do I send the screenshot? Over in Discord down below in the contest and game section, there is a channel called Proof. Just go throw it over there and try to throw that in there, okay? Cool. Griffin was actually on job site today. He was working. He should be back by tomorrow night. Yeah, he's actually out doing real work. No, the survey is for everybody, Sethan. It's not just 51 plus. There is a question that will divide it. That way we can do our analytics on the mid-ops arc. But yeah, it's available for everybody. There you go. Alpaca says, I didn't even get a thank you. I got a response has been recorded. Okay, I'll make a special thank you.
We can't add a thank you. I didn't even have that option. But
I do think there is actually a thank you message that we can put in at the end. I'll take a look at it. I think you can actually change that. Or maybe we can send an email. No, but see, we don't collect email. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I think I can send you a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do a thank you.
Can we just have Discord automatically respond to their proof thing?
No.
That says thank you for your submission.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Alpaca. Appreciate you. Please send all surveys via carrier pigeon. All right, there you go. All right, guys. That's going to do it. We got to go. We got to get out of here. Who's online for us to raid on over to tonight? And I'll send the live studio audience somewhere else. Looks like Jason Phoenix online, so we'll head over there and have a little bit of fun there. In the meantime, thank you guys so very much for hanging out here in our live studio audience. Appreciate Tarpy, Matters, Putz for sharing their opinions, and all of you in the studio audience. Thank you. These are the kinds of shows that I really, really enjoy. Talking about the ups and downs, talking about some cost-benefit analysis and finding out if it's actually got value. This is the information that helps me represent you back at Scopely HQ. So really do appreciate all you guys. Please be sure to visit the website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That's TalkingTrekSTFC.com for you to find links over to our merch store, the YouTube channel. Get your cruise merch, okay? Get your cruise merch. And we had an amazing Studio B. And just in case you guys didn't know, and if I didn't remind you, Studio B is now free. All 2026 shows are free all year long. All right, it won't let me go back and change it for 2025, but I've started making all the 2026 shows absolutely free. Join us on Patreon where you can find a link. Just get a free membership. You don't have to pay anything at all, and you can get free access to our Studio B shows for the entire year. Be sure to visit that from our website as well. I appreciate all you guys for being in the live studio audience, or the podcast audience, or the iTunes audience, or anywhere else here on Talking Track. A registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I'm your friendly neighborhood cat person, Ultimate DJ, saying meow for now. Love you, minute. Catch you on the next one. Bye.